Time. Leisure time. Did you ever stop to think how much leisure time you really have? Some of us put our leisure time to good use. And some of us, Ken Michaels, for example, spend most of our leisure time just moping.
Moping? He thinks I'm moping. Well, who wouldn't mope? There's nothing to do, nobody's around. You know how it is. I went down to the bowling alley, went over to the drugstore. None of the gang was there. All my friends are busy, so what's for me to do?
Do you suppose Ken has more leisure time than his friends do?
Huh? Well, no, I don't have more time. We all spend about the same amount of time in school, and the rest is leisure time. I've got nothing to do but wait for supper. My friends have more things to do. They're lucky.
Ken's pretty lucky, too.
Listen to that. All right, I'll bite. Why am I lucky?
Because you have so much leisure time. Time in which you can do things you enjoy. Time in which you don't have to work.
Like this, huh? Is that good?
Let me show you a few things. Suppose you had lived 100 years ago. What would you have been like? Take a look.
Where? Oh, is that me? Is that what I would have looked like 100 years ago?
Well, perhaps. But now, well, let's look back 100 years again and see someone else.
Who? Hey, that's my dad.
Young man, you get off that bed and get to work. After you clean out the stable, you can build some new steps for the back porch. While I work 72 hours a week, no son of mine is going to loaf.
72 hours?
12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Tomorrow morning, young man, you're going out to get a regular job. You can work too, and earn your keep.
Not so good, Ken? Well, let's try another picture. Say about 50 years ago.
Oh, hello, son. Well, say, I've got some new pictures for the stereoscope. We'll look at them tonight. Don't forget about your chores. Have them all done by the time I'm through work. And keep the wood box full.
Boy, how long will you work, Dad?
Why, 10 hours. 10 hours a day, every day except Sunday.
60 hours a week? Boy.
Well, Ken, let's take a look at your father's time as it really is today.
Hi, Dad. You sure don't work as long hours as they used to.
That's right, Ken. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do so much work in so little time. This 40-hour week suits me fine.
Sarah has to go do ice stuff. Good luck, good luck. Hope that goes well. Never on time, it's true. One of the things I never expected to to have to be beholden to is like people, like it's like I set up a stream and I'm late to it, and like that I expected. I expected to be late to my own streams. I didn't expect people to tell me I'm late because they're on time, and I'm like, fuck, all right, this is this is unacceptable. I must stick to the schedule. So fast the intro didn't finish. This is how fast I usually set up, right? Like, right, I think it's right when he gets to you're gonna go get a real job. I don't think I've ever started before like his dad shows up. He kind of goes like 72 hours, and then that's like usually when I'm done. Like, so I set up the sum of the I set up probably like 30% of my setup, and then I click the go live button, and then I let the start screen play, and then I set up the rest, right? And I usually get that done when he goes like 72 hours, and then I kind of just wait out the scene. Sometimes I'm done and I just sit there and I'm just looking at chat, and I'm like, and I'm wondering what is going on, like, and I don't want to interrupt it, so I'm just waiting. Sometimes you let it play the whole way through. I don't usually, when it's like playing further than like, I would say maybe like when it's playing further than the mother going like, oh, it's hard work, isn't it? Like I think if it goes further than that, it's because I'm setting up and I'm in trouble. Technical difficulties are going on usually when that happens. Hello everyone. Doing therapy while playing Marvel Rivals to cure gamer rage. That's good. That's good. That's good. I hope this is calming enough. Good old health anxiety first thing in the morning. Yes, indeed. It seems as though there is a reverberating cry for therapy and good mental health. Which is what we're going to do today. When will I let the entire film play out before starting the stream? I let it play for the 6 months. For the 6 month stream, where 6 months of Kara Supernor, where I just talked about 6 months of Kara Supernor. I talked about the previous 6 months, and then I talked a bit about the next 6 months. That's like that was the 6 months Kara Supernor. It's just yapping as usual, and I don't think there's much you haven't heard about beyond just like certain commitments I decided to make. Yeah, there are certain things I want to tell you that I can't tell you yet, that have occurred in my mind. I have a lot of time to think about stuff and to plan things, and I'm excited to do things in the future, especially when like a good idea hits me. Usually like I only do things when a good idea hits me, and I must say a good idea hit me yesterday. Very happy about that. Not telling you what it is, of course not. But it did happen. You know what happened as well. So yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was like, and yesterday I ended the stream, and then I kind of went out for like a Christmas dinner. I just went to like I think I just went to a Pakistani place. Had fantastic. I forgot what I had there. Was it masala? I think I had a lamb masala or something. Great. But the point was, the point I wanted to say was, I spent a good amount of time yesterday. It was the first time I had that. Oh god. I gotta rephrase everything. I'm not very good at expressing myself. So, finally decided to watch some, like, indie VTuber streams yesterday. Just like, dig around and also just check out what my mutuals are like doing and all that. And then like I realized I'm so mean to you guys. I'm terrible. I don't greet anyone by name unless it's apparently it's I think it's for smaller chats. You're like a lot of small indie streamers do that, where it's like, hello everyone that's showing up in chat, and everyone's happy because it's like, yay, my name was acknowledged. And I just go like, no, I don't care, I'm not acknowledging. I'll read your message and I'll respond to it, but like, you don't need, I'm not gonna read out your name like it's a roll call. I don't have to do that. And then like, there's banter in chat, and then like chat, and then like in other people's chats, at least, they're always like, like, they're always like so nice to the streamer, and then the streamer's always like, oh, I love you guys, you guys are awesome, thanks for being around. And I'm just like, fuck, you can be here, I guess. If you don't have to, though. You really shouldn't, honestly, at this time of year. And I tell everyone to fuck off at the end of the stream. I do not I don't care for acknowledging everyone individually. Like, who you are, you write the message in the chat and I can see it. And sometimes I read it out, sometimes I ignore it. That's another thing, is like I ignore messages a lot. Just like, because I just don't feel like answering them, and like that's not really a thing that happens to a lot of people do. I just like go off on my own tangents, and I just talk about what I want to talk about. I don't care. I'm not having a conversation with any of you guys. I'm having like a monologue, and occasionally there's input. Fuck you, not real, you're not real, none of this is real. Exactly. It's not like none of this is real. It's a nice indulgence of escapism, but only for a little dose. Afterwards, you have to go back to the real world and be a person again. Please be a person again. The sea for those who are dedicated. Yeah, like that, and also like everyone's intros are everyone's like aesthetics are so nice. They've got like nice chat bubbles. They've got like there's in a room, you know, they've got like a desk, like PNG asset in front of them, like their models. They've got little like mascots. I mean, I have Parrot, I guess, but Parrot's fucking whatever. In fact, like he's just gonna leave now. Fuck you, Parrot, right? But like they've got like, you know, cute like niceties. I think it's okay. It's either that, like it's super good or it's super bad. Okay, what do I mean by super bad, right? Because I'm about to throw hands, right? But people sometimes either they have like a fantastic background that they draw super, like they spend a lot of time drawing in like a start screen that's like really nice, and then they have like different art for their thumbnails and shit, or they have no art for their thumbnails, they've got no art for anything, and they just use like default like gamer. Like, okay, I found so I'm just like surveying VTubers, I'm just like clicking around them. A lot of the female VTubers have really nice art that they draw themselves and they use. A lot of the male VTubers I found don't, and they just use the like sort of the standard almost flesh tuber assets where it's just like, you know, gamer stripes, and then it's like RPGs, what's the word for like red, blue, green? RBG, RGB, red, green, blue. It's like RGB flash, like lights glowing, and then like, you know, the gamer aesthetic. And it's weird because I'm like neither of those. Personally, I like to think I'm right in the middle. Because like I'm not about to get, you know, I don't want a fucking Twitch ass, you know what I mean? Like it's not like Twitch assets are bad, but like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You click into someone's stream and then you just see like a start screen that's like if you clicked onto 500 other streamers, you would see the same start screen. You know what I mean? Like that's I like that there's at least some individuality and personality in some of the things I do, but it is very noticeable when I compare myself then to the ones who are really good, where there's not only like personality and individuality, but also they draw it and they're really good at drawing, and I just like I can't comprehend how that even works. It's cute how many girls are like, I want this to be nice and presentable, and guys are Comic Sans. That's honestly, Comic Sans is even like, there's some amount of effort in Comic Sans, because then it's like at least, haha, this is the joke is it's Comic Sans, right? A lot of guys are just like, here's 1 out of 5 things default that I found. It's like it's the first 4 things I found on Stream Elements, and I'm just using that. Should I try to draw your background? No pressure, but if you did, I would use it. No, please don't be pressured by that. But if you draw one, I will use it. Didn't know the non-comedic equivalent of Comic Sans. Usually, yeah, so Comic Sans is usually like, haha, it's Comic Sans, and it's like the not serious font. But Comic Sans is also what's the word? Comic Sans is also the font people use for accessibility reasons. Yes, that's the word. It's for accessibility reasons. Some people who have, I believe, dyslexic people are able to read from Comic Sans a lot better than they are to read from shit like Times New Roman or like whatever standard, like Arial, like standard fonts are that exist in web interfaces. So Comic Sans has that purpose as well. Though I doubt a lot of people know that and intend for that when they use Comic Sans. Because they're easy to read separate letters. Yeah, that's part of it for sure. Can you MS Paint your thumbnail art sometime in the future? I did think about like the MS Paint style because it's funny, right? Like to just freehand MS Paint something with the mouse, and that's like a thumbnail art. But I think there's enough funny people who do that I don't want to steal their like style or their joke. Like it's like almost at this point almost like a standard thing for like, haha, it's an MS Paint background, so I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I say that, but it's not like my thumbnail arts are very unique right now. My thumbnails right now are just like, you know, it's so weird. It's like I'm taking a photo of myself, but then it's like a screenshot, right? And I have to pose in a different way. I have to like move my face left or right, and then I look at some direction or other, and then like I have to screen cap it, you know, and then I put it in fucking Canva and then I put like the game art next to it, and that's my thumbnails. Like a lot of VTubers have, okay, there's like only two extremes. Either you don't have a thumbnail at all, you don't care, you just like, you're streaming on Twitch and that's that, and then you upload like a VOD on YouTube and the VOD is like, the thumbnail VOD is just some part of the VOD. Or you have like really nice fan art of like made by, you know, your fans, or something you draw yourself, that you can put over your, like you can overlay over the game art instead, and then there's like dynamic posing and stuff, and you have a lot to draw from. Whereas I just have the same like 5 faces. Like you'll notice, I'm sure you've noticed by now that the poses, like the thumbnails I make are the same. Like you can spot the same faces. I reuse the same PNGs. Rarely do I make on occasions I make a new one where I take another photo of myself on the computer, and then I put it on Canva, and then yeah, and it's also I don't even like, my fonts are inconsistent. I don't know what fonts to use. I think I use Times New Roman for the reading ones, but then it's like they're not very they don't really, it's hard to see sometimes. I don't know. I've yet to figure out any of this shit. But this was something I observed when I was watching some indie VTubers yesterday. I spent some time doing that. It was fun. You're so lucky I can't. I would have made your background all assets. Thank you, but again, you don't have to feel pressured to do that. I have Art Team. I didn't ask Art Team for this because it's like, I've asked Art Team for enough. Art Team does not need more work. I really owe Art Team like, well, money is like too, but also like I owe Art Team so many favors. It's insane. We'll treat Art Team to like dinner or something sometime in the future. We'll see. But yeah. Many times it's pretty similar, which makes the text flow pretty well. I see. That must be the reason. I just knew that there is an accessibility reason and people do that sometimes. And there's the same look to the bottom right like 3 times. Well, it's because like I just reuse some of my like thumbnails and assets and stuff. Marathon stream where you go through all the favors and speedrun them? No, I can't. What do you mean? Yeah, go through all. What do you mean by go through all the favors? I don't think I'd be able to. Like, my debt to the world will be paid in due time. Put it on my tab, says the philosopher as he downed another pint of Guinness and leaves without paying for anything as usual because he's poor. Off to go to my job. That's not really a job, but I sure as hell take it too seriously. Are you gonna be nicer to us now? Probably not. I'll probably be a little more mindful that is what is the norm. That's all though. I'm not making any promises to be nicer to you lot. I think I'm nice enough. I think I'm tolerant enough, you know. I think I've given enough grace. You get to say things completely, and I don't censor anything anyone says in chat. And oftentimes, and I don't usually ignore things. I don't ignore things often. I don't ignore questions. even if they're dumb questions. So you know what? In that aspect, I think I'm nice enough. The genre of gruffness is fun. Well, now that you're saying that, I can't do it anymore because now I'm like, well, okay, I guess like people enjoy it. Now I have to adjust my crudity and my gruffness and my surface level apathy. Now I have to now I have to adjust all of that so that it's not like, okay, you're getting too comfortable with this. We're switching it up now. But yeah, watching a lot of VTuber streams made me realize I can't draw for shit. It's not even okay. I always knew I couldn't draw, but it made me realize that not being able to draw for shit means that a lot of my aesthetic is so strange. Because on the one hand, I look at myself and I'm like, that is dashing. Wonderful job, art team. Excellent. And then on the other hand, I look at like the background. I'm like, this is just lifted from some asset website. What's going on here? This is so strange. Is this high quality or low quality? I can't tell, because some things are fantastic. Those are the things done by our team. And then some things are terrible. Those are the things done by me. Never able to tell. Charming, elegant, and Ikemen like swooning. Yeah, that's like... So it was like kind of weird, I think, the first month when people were complimenting me on my model and how I looked. It was really weird the first month because I was like, no, stop. You know, you do the whole like, oh, I can't take this compliment. But then I think very shortly after that, I'm like, no, this is fucking incredible. This is super great. This is better than most other things I've ever even seen. I've seen quite a few things. But it's also like, I'm okay with accepting the compliment because I know the compliment's not to me because I didn't do it. Our team did it and our team receives all the credit. Our team likes to draw Ikemen, go figure. Go figure why I look like this when I was... You know, like all I am is the marble block. Okay, I am a nice marble block, and I've been sculpted by the sculptor who happens to enjoy a lot of yaoi. Okay, like it's not. It's no wonder the sculpture has turned out this way. It's no wonder, and this is the form I have been given. I might as well exist in it. I'm not too. I no longer feel awkward about it, is what I'm trying to say. Just like a funny, weird thing to say, because it's like, what do you mean? It's your model. Anyways. Vampire therapy. Is there something I wanted to say about vampire therapists before we begin? I wanted to mention that I read an article that was very critical of vampire therapists yesterday. I read an article from like some economist guy, and he was like, this is bad. Vampire therapist starts off with a really good premise and really interesting stories. Then it devolves into like the average like left-wing college student's opinion. And I went, and I'm not sure how I feel about that critique, because so far, and I don't know how far I am in the game, we've resolved one person, that's Drain. The self-acceptance thing I don't think is a particularly like left-leaning political statement. I think it's just like a well-being thing, at least to me, but maybe I'm biased. And I've yet to see the other things, so like it felt like he was treading the line of like calling it's just, oh, it's woke and that's all it is or something. I don't know, maybe that is a critique that could be levied against this game, but I have not played it. I've not played it to completion, so I can't tell exactly. But like, so if it seems like I'm a bit more critical going forward, it's because I read an article recently that was a bit critical of the game as well. That would be the reason. Human form is the classic Megane Uke. So the thing is, like, I don't consume much of this. I don't think I really consumed much of anime, like much anime aesthetic. Just in general. So like I was not into the Sword Art Onlines, but I did watch some shonens growing up when I was at the ripe age of 40 something, 50 something. Uh, so like I'm somewhat familiar with the shonen style art style, but or like the anime art style based off of that in general. So when our team like showed me this draft, I was like, I think this is really nice, but I have no comparison. I have no comment because I'm like, this is cool, I think, and I trust that you know what you're doing, so I'm gonna let you cook. And then like, and so because of that, there was not much input I made on the model. I just kind of looked like that. I will say I did ask our team to create it based off of the vibes I give. I was like, just, you know, I don't want it to be too different from who I am, because then it's like if it's way too different and I look at it, I'm like, that is impossibly different from who I am. Like, this is not who I am at all. I couldn't suspend my disbelief and immerse myself in this role, then it wouldn't work out. And I think our team struck a good balance. Not that you would know. You wouldn't know, but yes. Is there a coincidence your vocal tone veered to Ben Shapiro's? Well, it may or may not be the somewhat uncharitable voice that in my head when I was reading the article. Maybe I don't know. But yeah. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. And one last thing I want to say before I start is I will not be here in 2 weeks. I'm gonna fuck off in 2 weeks. That's yeah. So in about a bit more than in roughly 2 weeks, I will be gone for what seems to be a month. What that means is you're not gonna get scheduled streams from me. You're not gonna get anything scheduled. Maybe I'll do some guerrilla stream, and the VODs will be here, of course. You can see them. But streaming is gonna be a bit more difficult. I'll be moving around in 2 weeks for about a month, and then I'll be like back in full force by like mid-February probably. I know that goes against some of the things I said I would be doing in February. I've mentioned it last stream. I'll mention it again. Don't worry, it will work out. If I'm being frank, if I listened to the streams blindfolded with no perception of how you looked, it wouldn't be too far from how you appear now. That's good, because that was what I was going for as well with our team. With my directions to our team, I was like, it needs to sound like, it needs to look like what I sound like. Sometimes, I think this is to the detriment of some, okay, I'm about to say something really mean, but I hope you understand that it's not in a I don't mean it mean-spiritedly. I mean it in I don't know how to describe it, okay? And this is gonna sound awful. I think this really is gonna sound awful, but there's no other way to express it, and I do genuinely believe this. There are some, and to the detriment of the whole experience, in my opinion, there are some cases where a lot of some VTubers have really nice looking models, and it just does not match the voice. Like their voice is okay, and then their model is like fantastically, like impossibly beautiful. Like, you know, like if it's like if you have a pretty boy look, you kind of also have to have a pretty boy voice, or else it wouldn't, like there's this, it's jarring, or else it's jarring. And you know, vice versa, depending on the sort of like the look of your character model and whatnot. And some people draw really well, and they create really nice models for themselves, but then their voice doesn't match it. Or maybe like, and I think the problem isn't like, oh, I'm not saying, oh, their voice is ugly. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I mean. What I mean is more like, sort of, people have an idea of when they look at like a visual stimuli to how that visual stimuli generally should sound. That's why there are castings for like anime voiceover. That's why people cast for characters, and that's why there are some voice actors with voices that are often lent to like handsome young men, for example, or like, you know, there's like really pretty girls or something. Is like there are usually like the usual suspects of voices, or at least voices that sound like those voices. And this I don't think a lot of small indie VTubers fully grasp this concept that they like their model shouldn't be too jarring from how they sound. I don't know why, like, I don't know why I think it's a big deal, and I don't think it. And maybe it's not a big deal to most people, but for me, it's a super big deal. If I see a model and I imagine how they sound like, and I click into their stream and they sound very different from what I imagine, I feel not betrayed, but I'm like, well, okay. All right, okay. I'll be back by Valentine's Day and my B-Day. That would be fun. I'm not gonna promise that, and I'm also like, and if I am back then, it's not because of those days. If I'm back then, it's just because I'm back then. There's no, like, it'd be fun, I guess, but it wouldn't be because it's specifically Valentine's Day. I don't think it would matter too much to my plans. I don't just say it because the first time I saw a porcelain maid clip got jump scared. I get jump scared by a lot of VTubers. I think rarely do the VTubers like voice models and voice really match, but then when they do, it's so good. When they do, it's like there are some VTubers I follow that have also been like not afraid of showing like, or not like, they're not averse to showing what they actually look like in real life. And it's weird when they do like in their own content and their like separate like streams of content creation, and sometimes their voice matches the model so much that I can't see the person anymore. Like I listen to the voice from the person and I'm like, that's fucking weird. What? You sound like that? That's very strange. Reminds you of a VTuber that's a cute girl as a model and the voice is very deep. So yeah, there's like obviously ways to play around with that concept, like such as playing with that dissonance in a comedic way, having a schoolgirl with like a super deep gruff like voice, which I think are all cool and interesting as well. But that jarring effect is something I don't know if people experience, but I certainly do when I watch like VTuber streams. You spend money on a devilishly handsome Mickey Mouse model, have a high-pitched voice of the list you should be put down. I do also think that handsome Ikemen models are overrated, like, or like really pretty girl models are like overrated as well. Orc, there's only one green orc VTuber, and you're not gonna forget what the green orc sounds like, looks like, and talks like, because there's only one. And he's like, I think his voice matches that more than, you know, the other one. More than the other form he's taken, personally. Even though like it worked out in both cases, it worked out. I suspect that like cover, and I suspect part of the reason why all that shook down, and you know what I'm referring to. I suspect the reason why all that shook down is because nobody's watching the stream. I don't have to worry about censoring myself. I suspect the reason why Vesper left, or part of the reason why Vesper left, is because like ultimately, and from the get-go you can kind of tell as well, Cover had an idea of a VTuber that they wanted, of a specific personality and archetype that they wanted him to fit, and unfortunately he's just not that type of person. And so there's like the jarring aspect of it is funny. Like I enjoyed Nora Vesper a lot, but he was certainly not like the gentlemanly scholar type. Like that's just not him. He is much more an office worker orc. Like Randon the orc sounds exactly what I expect to. Yeah, same. And it's so good too. He's so much better as an indie, not a corporate idol. I believe so as well, and I don't mean that as in like he was a bad idol. I just think I think largely speaking, he did a great job being an idol. I think he was really good at playing the straight man as well, and a lot of comedic bits. And he clearly knew that was like what Cover wanted him to go for as well. And that was kind of what the personality of the character looks like. But it didn't seem like he was happy doing it, and so I'm happy that like it seems like he's happier now, which is good. First time Kiran Kiro did a face cam stream. Like what? Okay. Axel's just Axel, yeah. Altair is just Altair. Axel's just Axel. Fleon's just Fleon. Like Haka is definitely Haka. They're all like I love all the All-Stars. They're so like they're so like they are exactly what they look like, pretty much. Which is weird, like I don't know if it's a weird thing to say, but yeah, it definitely feels as though not only are the models like good looking models, but it's also like the models are very much, it feels like a tailor-made suit. That's what it feels like. Yes, it feels like I'm looking at someone who has a tailor-made suit, and maybe like that suit itself may not be my personal taste at the beginning, like just right off the bat, but because it fits them so well, I can't help but be drawn in to how well it's been done. Anyways, it's enough All-Stars talk. enough All-Stars talk. When will my therapy session start? Very soon, if not now. That was the last thing I wanted to mention. Yeah. Before I dive into the vampire therapist, I hope not to be too negative. Let me just think. Hold on. What did we do last time? Of course, any questions? If there's any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be gone in 2 weeks. Yeah, the last thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned just now. I'll be gone in 2 weeks. I'll be back streaming a month from then. You will not hear from me. Maybe I'll put out a tweet, and maybe I'll do a gorilla stream. Do not expect to hear from me. That should be it. That should be all. And now, about West of Living to this playthrough. Maybe I should get into West of Living. We'll see. Anyways, vampire therapist. Is it show up? Also, I spent too much time yapping. Hold on, where is it? Why is it like that? Ugh. Okay, there we go. There we go. Here's when we really start thinking about DMing a tabletop RPG. Oh yeah. He's so good at it. DMing is such a weird skill I could never grasp. I can't understand how people do. I had a few pretty good DMs, and like I just never understand how they do it. It's incredible. Vampire therapist. We continue here. Where did we leave off? What happened last time? Last time on Vampire Therapist, we helped Dr. Drain with his self-acceptance, and it was a little more complicated than that because it's it's vampires and it's a fictional context, but essentially Dr. Drain was suffering from well, many things. Among them, he had a sort of split personality that manifested itself in like almost like a total Hulk transformation, in that form of Lord Luridus or something is what the alternative persona called himself. And that happened whenever Drain indulged himself in the drug he was creating, which was a sort of synthetic blood. He was trained as a scientist, and he wanted to create this sort of synthetic blood that vampires can consume. That way they don't have to drink real blood. You can think of him as a vegan scientist, I guess. But however, the synthetic blood he created would cause him to turn into his like sort of feral state. Later, we come to notice that this feral state is actually just sort of a repressed side of him, where he doesn't accept what makes him a vampire. You know, the allegory is, you know, or the comparison is, you know, one not being able to accept that one is not perfect, that you are a human after all, you have flaws and you have human desires, and it is normal to have those desires. And rather than reject them and try to become this sort of transcendent entire life form, you should embrace who you are as a human being, right, is the idea. And so, I mean, in Drain's case, it was embracing who you are as a vampire. That was the last time. We helped him, and then so the climax of that was we helped him sort of accept himself. We helped him accept that primal, bloodthirsty, very horny, because, well, vampires, I guess, part of himself, which is very good. And then we had a little dance. That's what we did. There was no CG for the dance, I remember now, and I was like a little disappointed, but overall it was good. It was fun. Accidentally DM'd for a cousin at a dinner party and came surprisingly naturally. That's good. You're gonna take a D&D elective class? You guys get a D&D elective class? That's so cool. Why didn't I get that? Whatever. That sounds fun, yeah. But hey, if you've got the chops to DM naturally, I suggest, you know, using it, you know, because it's a difficult skill, and but it's also one that's super impressive and really fun. Think about it this way: you DM a table. There's a lot of happy players on that table. But anyways, we're talking to Andy now, Andromachos. We are gonna see, who are we gonna see tonight? Senora d'Este. How do we feel about her progress?
I don't know. That lady can really hold some grudges. I think she's starting to think about herself a little more, though.
An ancient grudge is a difficult thing to forget. It can become a part of one's very identity.
She is old.
Vlad Tepes only became Dracula because he was obsessed with the Turks, remember?
I think that's the case. I'm not familiar with the Dracula
Yeah, I don't think
lore.
the Senora's that far gone.
Do you feel you are prepared for whatever distortions she might bring today?
Well, let me think about that.
Control fallacy. She is... What does she do? She does like a lot of things. The people are dumb and they can't appreciate art. So I guess that's labeling. Catastrophizing she does. Shoulds. Qualifying positive. Does she disqualify positives? No. She I guess she overgeneralizes. I've never been able to choose distortions well. Evidently, if there was
I don't remember people
being
like
good at
this
this game, I would not be. But thankfully for me, it's mainly just a visual novel.
You can take the cowboy out of the West, but you can't take the West out of the cowboy.
So it
Well
would
said,
seem.
Sam.
Well, good luck tonight, Samuel. I will leave you to it.
All right, deep breath, Sammy boy. Here she comes. Bonanati, Senora.
Music's a little loud. It's alright.
What?
It's Italian. I thought I'd learn how to say hello to you properly. Bonanati.
Bonanati.
No, I cannot repeat it. I appreciate your attempt to speak in my language, but please do not attempt to do so again. Good evening. We'll do
Just
fine.
teach him how to say it, Isabella. Come on. He's so stuck up about it.
Good evening, Senora.
I apologize. I am feeling delicate tonight.
What's going on, Senora?
The realization that I am merely a repulsive, angry old woman becomes disappointingly clear. It weighs upon me in more than one way.
Whoa, whoa there, Senora. What's with the labeling? You think calling yourself names is gonna make you feel better?
No, but perhaps it will help me accept reality, as you have been encouraging me to do.
I never said anything about calling yourself nasty names.
I am repulsive, I am angry, and I am old. They are not names, they are hard truths.
It's looking at yourself in unkind ways, that's what it is. This can't be coming from nowhere, Senora. What's the deal? Last time we were talking, you seemed to be feeling pretty good.
You want to know why I am disgusted with myself? Here, look.
Whoa. Hello there.
That's quite good.
I know. It is terrible.
Okay, well, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. That's quite good.
I wouldn't say that at all, Senora. In fact, I think it's beautiful. I can tell you put a lot of love into this thing.
It is an entirely juvenile effort. There is nothing redeemable about this rubbish.
Yeah, that's me looking at my work. That's true.
Believe me, Senora, I know horses. You're a heck of an artist.
I don't like that Senora is... Senora makes me feel too perceived. I don't like it.
Then why do I feel nothing but shame when I look upon it? If I feel nothing but disgust, then it is disgusting.
Don't judge your art based on how you alone feel. Feelings ain't reality, and someone else is always going to have another opinion.
You are indeed correct. But no one will see this insult to Chiron.
Now, what the heck did you go and do that for, Senora?
I did what one should do with garbage. It is better that the world never see such horrors.
Oh, this is a pretty good
Now, who the heck said you should go ripping up your art? Where's that should coming from?
If you don't like... Okay. If you don't like it, the art that much, I understand wanting to tear it apart, but the more difficult thing to do, and I think the healthier thing to do, is to keep it around. Remind yourself that this is your current state, and if you don't like it, if you think it's not good enough, don't destroy it. Keep it there as a reminder for this is where you are, as a motivation to improve, to be even better. Don't delete it. But you can also aspire to do even better. Like, I think it's fine to look back at old stuff, or like things you're doing right now and go like, that's disgusting, this is terrible, I do not like this at all. But only insofar as it leads to okay, and because of that I will do even better, and because of that you'd want to keep it around for comparison's sake. You can see yourself improve over it, like a year or some length of time. But I don't delete any of my VODs, even though most of them are horrible.
It is the destiny of trash to be discarded. What happens if we leave rubbish sitting around? My husband used to leave his filthy chicken bones everywhere. Wife, do not tell me what I should do. The dogs will clean it up.
That's different.
He invited maggots into my beautiful home. Are you suggesting that I was wrong to say we should have thrown away his disgusting refuse?
I'm suggesting you're wrong in drawing a comparison between discarded chicken bones and the art you drew that's subpar, as you say it is, right? Personally, I think it's great, but I'm also shit at drawing.
Now, come on, Senora. Comparing something you should do to be clean and healthy ain't the same as saying you should trash your artwork. If you want to see real horror, ask me to draw anything other than my gun. I mean, what are you really looking for here, Senora? You looking to bring this fella to life with your brush? You think if you don't produce something completely perfect, it's garbage?
Yes. I apply the same standards to myself as I do to everyone else.
Are you sure they're the same standards?
Leonardo da Vinci once painted an illustration of my city of Mantua for me. It was beautiful. Leonardo had a mastery over art that modern mortals will never understand. But it was full of imperfections. The shape of one of the windows was wrong. The clouds looked slightly unnatural.
Okay.
I lit the painting on fire rather than let him embarrass himself. So why would I choose to embarrass myself?
You lit a Leonardo da Vinci on fire?
I lit rubbish on fire. Da Vinci painted it, but it was still rubbish.
Dang, that fella must have been terrified of you.
He was, though he had no reason to be. All he had to do was be better. It had nothing to do with me.
Senora, this need for perfection you've got, it ain't doing good things for you.
How can you say this? By demanding perfection, I improve the work of others. I improve the work of myself.
Well, maybe that's true, but you're doing something less useful.
And what is that?
You're limiting your dating opportunities. I don't need you to tell me that, okay? I don't need you to do that.
Senora, your standards are way too high. There ain't no way anyone can reach them.
So you keep saying. But there is nothing wrong with setting a high standard. The problem is the low standards of others. It is shameful to not strive for greatness. I will not tolerate your setting low standards.
I wouldn't say it's shameful. Actually, I would. I wouldn't say, okay, I wouldn't say it is shameful as in like, it is, you are being shameful, but I would say it is a shame to not strive for greatness. But it's not because, but it's not to condemn anyone who doesn't, but it's rather to condemn the world for not allowing people the capacity to do. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I hope I'm not just being Isabella again.
You will not disgrace my presence with shallow thoughts. Am I understood?
Oh, well, you can't expect that to be carried out, Isabella. Shallow thoughts plague around it.
Yes, ma'am. No, wait, I meant to say... Senora, I gotta be honest here. You're terrifying everyone. You're terrifying your artists, your family, even yourself. Failure's a part of life. If imperfection's a mortal sin to you, ain't nobody gonna let you in on their imperfections. Not you, not your husband, and not your son neither.
How dare you? How dare you lecture me, peasant? How dare you suggest that I was anything less than the perfect mother to my Federico? You worm!
All right, goodbye. Okay. We're gonna have to call security. I think we've been damned to hell. Something about my mom. Something about my mom's tomb. Spitting on my mom's tomb, is that what that is? And something about malice and like being damned to eternal life in hell, in the infernos. That's probably what she's...
Federico loved me. He knew that I knew what was best for him. Pull out your cognitive distortions now and I will tear your head from your neck.
No, she is a philosophy major. It's crazy.
I ain't never said Federico didn't love you. All I was saying was...
Zitto! Shut up, fool! You presume to tell me what I know. You, a common murderer! You who can barely speak your own language!
I get what they're going for here, but I will say the audio distortion effect they have is a little silly. I think that's something they could look into. But I get what they were going for.
I demanded perfection from my Federico so that he would not end up like his father, a degenerate leper whose penis hung by a thread of putrescent skin. I do not tolerate imperfection, not from myself, not from this world, and not from my son!
You know what, Senora? If you want to have that kind of control, you're gonna have it all by your lonesome. I'm trying to help you, and you're screaming at me. Why? Because you can't stand being wrong? If I'm too scared to talk to you, what the hell are we doing here? What do you want me to do, lie to you? I ain't gonna do that, Isabella d'Este. If you're looking for perfection, you're only gonna find liars, and that ain't me.
Yeah, and that distortion effect is still going. Oh, I don't...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you are right. Oh, Federico, what have I done?
Hey, it's okay, Senora.
He barely spoke to me when he came back from the Vatican. Every time I asked him how he was, he would say, "I am fine, mother." Of course he knew better than to talk to me. His father never did. No doubt it was I who drove them into the brothels.
I think that's simplifying things a little, Senora. Your boys made their own decisions. There probably were a lot of reasons they went to the brothels. But putting it all on yourself just ain't accurate. You couldn't read their minds or control their behaviors.
Perhaps not. But I am certain their whores did not criticize them as I did. I was only trying to make them demand better of themselves. Why did the world punish me for this? I read my Wikipedia page, you know. It was full of lies and slander.
I would if I
No
had
doubt
one.
this is how history remembers me, with slander
I would be obsessed. If I had a Wikipedia page, I would be obsessed with it, and I would just have it bookmarked, I would check it like every day. It'd be the same things. I don't care. I'd check it every day. No.
I have read the Senora's Wikipedia page, and I believe this is somewhat of an oversimplification on her part.
Okay.
I read.
I don't think a single Wikipedia page is going to determine how humanity remembers you, Senora. You're one of the most interesting, intelligent people I've ever met, and I bet loads of historians out there would be eager to know the real you.
There are Wikipedia pages. I believe Senora de Este is based off of a person. Is that correct? Isabella d'Este. Leading women in the Italian Renaissance, a major cultural and political figure. She was a patron of the arts as well as a leader of fashion, and her innovative style of dressing was emulated by many women. The poet Ariosto labeled her as the liberal and magnanimous Isabella, while author Matteo Bandello described her as supreme among women. Diplomat Niccolo da Correggio went even further by hailing her as the First Lady of the World. She served as the regent of Mantua during the absence of her husband, Francesco II Gonzaga, and during the minority of her son Federico. She was a prolific letter writer and maintained a lifelong correspondence with her sister-in-law, Elisabetta Gonzaga. Isabella grew up in a cultured family in the city-state of Ferrara. She received a fine classical education, and she met many famous humanist scholars and artists. Due to the vast amount of extant correspondence between Isabella and her family and her friends, her life is extremely well documented. Interesting. I suppose they based this character off. She died age 64. Yeah, your Wikipedia page is not that bad. I just pulled it up.
Let us hope they do not discover who I am. They would be terrified of me, as you so deftly pointed out.
So let's forgive him a few mistakes, huh?
I suppose I must.
I read that Wikipedia page too, Senora.
I did too.
You know,
just
I
now.
read it. The people are in awe of you. They call you the First Lady of
They
the
do.
Renaissance, you know.
They do. I just checked. They do. That's what they
This
do.
only proves that Machiavelli was right. That if one cannot be loved and feared, it is best to be feared.
What do they mean died? She's right there. Well, she died. She stopped being human. It's probably what they meant. Maybe that's what they
I think
meant.
you're a little too down on yourself today, Senora. But here's what I think of Isabella d'Este.
You're dang smart. I think you're ambitious. I think you're a caring person. I think you look great.
You know what? You come off as pretty harsh. I think we can agree on that. But you're a caring person. You want the best for the people you care about, no matter how hard it is on you. You literally gave your life to care for your family.
No one has ever called me a caring person before.
Am I wrong? Going through death for family seems like you care a lot.
A little too much, perhaps.
I ain't gonna disagree with you there.
You're smart as
You
well.
are so dang smart, Senora. I don't think people these days get an education like yours, and you took it seriously. You know about art, music, philosophy, religion.
Perhaps to a fault. A bit too much.
Of course, I know much about physics, biology, and mathematics as well. Do not think me simply a woman of the arts.
I wonder what the physics were back then. Was this the 15th century? Something.
See what I mean? I'm only 200 some years old, and I think it's gonna take me another 200 to know half the stuff you know.
It'll take a little more than that, Sam. I'm gonna be honest.
You should be proud, Senora. You're ambitious as hell. From what you told me, it sounds like being a woman in your time wasn't an easy thing, but you proved you were capable of anything, and people had to respect that. Hell, you even ran your own city. You're gutsier than any man I've ever known.
I am not sure I like this gutsy word very much, but I suppose I did well for my time.
Senora, you did well for any time, believe me.
You look
Pardon me
great.
for saying so, but I see why people were falling over themselves to paint you. You got grace and style such like I ain't never seen back home, not even at a fancy cotillion. Those ladies would probably kill to have your fashion sense.
Well, Thank you for saying so, Sam. It is gratifying to know that my eye for fashion is noted. I
She is quite
certainly know how to
fashionable.
wear a hat.
I do like the art for Isabella a lot.
Well, that thing looks great on you. I doubt I could wear it half as well.
That is certainly true. You have been so kind to me. Kinder than I have been to you.
You deserve kindness. And you deserve to give yourself some kindness too.
And then maybe while you're working on that, also give other people around you some kindness. Wouldn't kill you, I think.
No one has ever spoken to me the way you do. I suppose I never allowed them to. Sam, I know I am old. I know I am difficult. But would you ever consider a woman such as I?
Personally, probably not. I imagine it would be difficult.
Senora, I'm here to help you on your personal journey. Let's not complicate
That's true.
that.
Okay, as a visual novel player, I can answer that question. As your therapist, please remember that we must maintain a professional boundary set.
Of course. I am just being foolish. I am so used to people being afraid of me that, of course, I fall for the first person who is not.
Senora, I think if you can learn to give people a little room, they're gonna adore you.
What if they see me as weak if I am gentle? What if my bearing was the thing that earned me respect?
It's not.
I do not wish to be discarded and ignored like so many women of my time.
It probably won't happen.
Senora, I don't think anyone could discard and ignore you. You don't exactly fade into the background, you know. You're pulling back a little and letting people make their mistakes doesn't make you weak. And it definitely ain't gonna make them discard you. I'm a pretty gentle fella. You don't think I'm weak, do you?
No, I do not.
So don't go thinking you are, all right? I'm not saying you gotta be meek, Senora. I reckon that ain't in your nature. I'm just saying to start with compassion. People are doing their best out there, and they deserve your understanding when they ain't perfect. Same goes for you. Don't go ripping up your art because it ain't perfect. Nobody's expecting that from you or anyone, not even Da Vinci.
Yes, I suppose I must resign to the truth. I am powerless before inevitable imperfection. I suppose the Calvinists were right.
Now don't go running in the opposite direction, Senora. That ambition comes from you. Not everyone's got it. So keep striving to be better. Just give yourself a little compassion when you don't meet those super high standards you got.
And also give other people. I know that's like, you know, we're working on you and it's about you and this is your therapy session, but also you really should be better. You really should try to be a little nicer to the people around you.
And there ain't nothing wrong with holding other people to a high standard neither. We ain't gonna be gods, but it's good to have ideals.
I believe you are wiser than I, Sam Walls. It is most humbling.
A slow horse who can still get his carrots is quicker than the ones who run past him.
And then you say something like that, and I am no longer quite so humbled.
Don't be humbled by me, Senora. I'm a simple man, just a more honest one these days.
You're more humbled by yourself. You're having discovered what you truly think about certain things and having thought them. It's good.
Look, let's remember what brought you in here in the first place. You saw that Space Wars movie and all its problems, right? I want to give you a challenge. I want you to find a piece of art to lack.
This is okay. Like, just very quickly. If you encounter anyone who is quite like Isabella, and believe me, if you study philosophy, you will. And they're kind of, you know, up about how art is dead and, you know, everything in the contemporary modern age is bad. It's good. You might want to you could try to suggest them to look at something contemporary, or like look around the contemporary stuff to find something they enjoy, so that it's not like, you know, art is dead and we've killed it and nothing good comes out anymore. It's all Star Wars and garbage. Just like, no, it's not all that. Sure, the most popular stuff is probably gonna be garbage, but that's not everything. There's so much more now than ever, probably, because like it or not, the current times we live in are probably the best times to be inspired and to create, because overall, on average at least, people have sufficient living conditions that allow them room to create and to be creative. It's not perfect and it's not where we want it to be, but it is better than it was many years ago.
Anything. A painting, some music, a movie, heck, even a video game. And you enjoy that thing for what it is, not hate it for what it isn't.
Video games are not art.
You've yet to play the Stanley Parable then. That's what that tells me.
Do you know that, Senora? I bet there's lots of video games with redeeming value. One of my clients plays a whole bunch of them.
Well, I don't know if she plays the good ones. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if the Twitch streamer will be playing the really good ones.
I do not think they are for me.
You don't know
Well,
until you
fair
try.
enough. Just find something, and we can talk about it next time. You can use the internet. I hear it's full of lists of things people like.
I wonder what she would be into. What would Isabella be into? She would be into, like, that's like contemporary. I think there's plenty of complex modern music she would enjoy. She'd probably just dive into that. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think.
Very well. I will do this then. Sam, thank you for being so kind to me.
Well, I'll thank you to join me in being kind to you, okay, Senora? I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yes. Well then. Goodbye, Sam. Until we meet again.
Adios, Senora.
Well, well. A confession of love from the First Lady of the Renaissance.
Not very difficult.
Oh, shucks, she ain't in love with me.
I know, I am teasing. But I am impressed, Samuel. You warmed her dead heart.
It was touch and go there for a bit. I thought she really was gonna rip my head off.
Rips and you love comedian Maritza Catalan. Maybe she will now. We'll see.
But you were not afraid, as she said. They make strong men in the American West.
Tough living will do that to you, sure enough.
Then let us relax. I hear you were dancing the other night.
Oh, nuts.
Do not be embarrassed, Samuel, but let us go downstairs. The night is still young and there's much to celebrate.
All right, Andy. I think I'm game for a little R&R.
I don't know. I kind of want to just see the next client. I don't know if I want to go celebrate.
Crimson Sweet Sanguine. Tonight we are celebrating.
What are we celebrating?
I am pouring us all some shots. Verona Virgin.
I won't say no to that.
1492.
I won't say no to that.
A taste of a different time.
You know I don't like drinking anything but fresh, Andy.
I know, dearest. This is a rare occasion. Samuel here was able to help a 500-year-old let go of her anger. So let us toast her age to the Renaissance.
Okay.
Ugh, that tastes like dirt.
Yuck, I think mine had a clot in it.
It's not very good, is it? Oh well. Then let us instead toast leaving the past where it belongs.
I think I've had my fill of the past tonight already.
I've got a better idea.
Is that so? Of course, my dearest. I am delighted for you to share yourself.
I'd like a little privacy. Come on, cowboy. Follow me to the kink room.
Okay. All right.
Well, all right then.
Well, all right then. Alrighty then.
Smile, Samuel. You have the favor of a very special woman. It has been too long since I tended my own bar. Go have fun.
Okay, Andy, you have a good night.
Hey, cowboy.
Hi, Crimson.
Look, handsome. There's a reason I wanted to get you alone. Wanted to pick your brain about
Okay,
something.
that makes more sense to me, yeah.
I'm hearing about all these clients of yours being stuck for hundreds of years, and I keep thinking, what if that's me?
It's all of us. It's a little bit of all of us.
I've been half dead for 20 years. But do I want it to be 200?
Have you talked to Andy about this?
Yeah, but he's 3,000 years old. 20 years to him is like a month. I'm getting a little jealous of your vamps, if I'm honest. They're all moving forward, but I'm
You can
stuck in the
always
same
you can always
place.
hang you can always come to a session.
I've got Andy keeping me alive, but I'm not sure I'm living. The way I see it, either I decide my time's up, or I decide to become a vampire.
You need to find something that you deem meaningful, and depending on what that is to you, whether it is creating something, whether it is the pursuit of creating something, whether it is the pursuit of helping others, whether it is the pursuit of digging very deeply and like in uncovering something. It could be anything,
So,
but something
I
that
wanted
keeps
to
you
ask,
going.
What's your favorite thing about living forever?
The capacity to do anything and not having to worry about mortality. It helps with creative ventures, I suppose, in a way, but it also could be like the opposite, where because you have nothing, you have no fear of death, you have nothing, you have no mortal chains, you tend to lose this sense of purpose because you go like, well, I can just do it tomorrow or whatever. What helps me with that is grounding yourself and your purpose in service of others who don't live forever. I think that would help. That's none of these options. I think probably needs to
I like the night. Mortals are so tied to the sun, they miss out on a whole nother world. The night ain't so hectic. We ain't getting messages at all hours because everyone else is asleep. We got time for reading, for art, whatever we like, really. Crimson, in the end, this is your decision. And you gotta decide for your own reasons.
I know. You're right, Sam. It's helpful to get a youngster's perspective, though. Now, are we gonna get to biting?
Oh, I thought we were just gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, we're still doing that.
Of course we are. Get in here, cowboy. Quit
Did I
it,
fuck
Sam.
up? I
like
fucked
my
up.
blood where it is.
Sorry, I'm a little clumsy tonight.
I don't like this mini. I don't like this mini game.
That is something else.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like any. I'm not a fan. I'm not that big of a fan of like any part of the. I don't really care for the vampire part of Vampire Therapist when they go to the kink room to what is essentially having sex with each other. I guess like that's like really that's really what this is. And I don't care for it personally. I guess it's there for people who do care. But I can't imagine people who would love this are equally as into the therapy part. So
Not bad.
man, this is a
cowboy.
therapist's
But
office.
you don't
No,
need to bite.
fortunately,
Just let your teeth
fortunately,
sink
this
in
is
next time.
the therapist's office is upstairs. They're downstairs near the bar in the club because it's like a club. The therapist's office is the upstairs second floor of the club. This is the kink room near the ground floor, next to the ground floor of the club, and this is where they do the deeds, I guess. I've played six streams of this, and I still feel just as awkward as if I was actually here in this room.
Oh, well, thanks, Crimson. I'll try to remember that.
Bet you're pretty sleepy now, huh?
Well, yeah, now that you mention it.
Go get some sleep then, cowboy. And Sam, thank you. I'm glad you're around.
Where else would I be? I'm glad to be of service, ma'am. You have a fine evening.
Samuel, good evening. How is my ever-impressive protege tonight?
Looking
better,
forward to
could
a
be
night off, boss. I haven't heard from Eddie, so I was thinking about a nice hot bath.
An excellent idea. A little self-care goes a long way. I do have bubble bath if you would like to borrow some.
That's quite nice.
Andromachos the Mighty uses bubble bath, huh? I wouldn't have guessed.
There is only one type of human who does not like bubbles.
Liars?
Well, I was going to say werewolves, but I suppose it is the bath part they dislike, not the bubbles.
Oh, well, I ain't no liar, so I'd love some bubble bath. In fact, well, tarnation, I guess the bubble bath is postponed.
Oh, all right.
Are you ready to handle Edmund's distortions? It sounds as though they will be intense.
No, I'm not ready.
Well, let me think real quick.
Personalization. The hell does he do? Does goods, I guess. Eating a lot. Qualifies to positive. Yeah.
I think I got it.
I suspect you have difficult work ahead tonight. I wish you the best of luck, son.
Thanks,
All right,
Andy.
here it is. Here's the
Hold on,
Shakespearean
sonny boy,
actor.
here he comes.
Here's the Shakespearean. I realized I didn't do a recap of Isabella. I'm sure everyone who's following already knows, but Isabella, the Renaissance lady who has a lot of problems accepting the fact that people around her aren't perfect. Edmund has a similar thing. Edmund is a Shakespearean actor who is like the most self-centered, is a caricature of someone who is extremely self-centered. He's so exaggerated that I feel like he's a caricature personally. But we'll see. I do think he's like the least realistic person.
Hey, Eddie.
I do think he's the least realistic person out of all of the clients so far in terms of like the way they were written. This is pretty funny though.
Do you like my costume,
I
Sam?
do. It's hilarious. I love it.
Well, sure. Did you come right from that production you were talking about last time?
Yes. I flew right here after the performance. I had to tell you how it went.
I'm guessing not very well.
So, how did it go?
You should have been there. You could have seen how the audience reacted.
Yeah, well, I wasn't.
They loved me.
And so he's a JoJo character. Yeah, I guess. I guess he's a JoJo character. He's like a JoJo villain. He's a JoJo villain. Yeah.
Hey, well, that's fantastic, Eddie. I was a little worried when I heard you coming. I wasn't expecting you tonight.
But why would you worry? You knew who I was. The great Edmund Kean. Of course the audience would love me.
Yes, but that's not what I'm worried about, you see, Edmund Kean.
Oh, my dear boy. How they did laugh at the great clown Pierrot.
Well, that's the role you were cast for, yes?
Well, that's amazing, Eddie. Gave that Grimaldi fellow a run for his money, huh?
Grimaldi would have never achieved as many laughs as I clearly earned.
You don't sound too happy about it, Eddie.
You feel like they're laughing at you and not with you, huh?
Pierrot is supposed to be a tragic clown, but they laughed.
Yeah, you're supposed to. You're supposed to laugh at a tragic clown, are you not?
They just laughed and laughed and laughed.
Oh, Eddie.
They laughed at my heartbreak when my wife left me for a respectable man.
Sorry.
They laughed when I held my dying child in my arms. They laughed as I succumbed to drink, damning God for not taking me.
Well, you did the role really well, I guess, right?
They laughed as I slit my own throat, when 'twas no trick, for I am already dead. So you see, it was all very, very funny.
Eddie, I'm so sorry. That
Yeah, I
reaction
would not
sounds
be equipped to
horrifying.
handle this. I would have been like, that's the point, it's good.
No, but of course
That's
it wasn't.
evidently that's not what he's
I believe this
speaking
role
about.
was made for me. It was made so that people could laugh at me. So laugh, my dear boy. Laugh.
Eddie, I know you're hurting right now. I know people can be cruel, but they ain't looking to be cruel to you in particular. That's one of
You're
them
playing a
cognitive
character.
distortions.
You shouldn't
Personalization.
you
It
shouldn't
means
wrap yourself too much in the character that you play. There's obviously going to be a part of you, but bear in mind that, for example, Pierre the Clown wouldn't immediately, after all the tragedy, go to a therapist. That might happen. Isn't there that joke? Is it Piero the Clown? There's a joke that's like, this person going to therapy and confessing that, oh, I've been feeling awfully depressed lately, and then the therapist was like, oh, I recommend you go see the clown. That'll make you feel better. And then the guy goes, I am the clown. Is the what is it, a joke? Is it a bit? What is it? It's meant to be a joke, I assume. I guess that's this then.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Don't tell me a fucking thing about cognitive distortions! Do you think I don't know what they are? Do you think I do not employ each and every one, every single moment of every single day? I am a professional liar, but no lie is so carefully constructed as that of Edmund Kean. You told me to deal with reality as it is. So be it. This is Edmund Kean.
There's a Norm Macdonald joke? That might be it, yeah. I love Norm.
A minstrel, a jester, a fool, a clown. A clown whose greatest joke is to pretend for even a moment that he is not one. But you see, my dear boy, all that is impressive about Edmund Kean is just illusion. It has always been an illusion. That is what the stage is, but it is my life as well.
Shit.
Edmund is now rejecting his entire existence. He has had quite the dark awakening, Samuel.
Eddie, man, don't be so quick to throw out all you've done. That stuff didn't come from nowhere. I get that you've been acting on and off the stage, but not all of it was an illusion.
Or rather, I think the illusion is a big part of it as a stage actor, or just as an actor in general. But what impresses me, and I don't know if this goes for everyone, but and maybe it's just me, but what impresses me is not just the illusion, it's the fact that the person behind it, the person behind the illusion was capable of creating that illusion. And I have an appreciation for the human behind it. Or maybe in this case, the vampire behind it. Maybe you should keep that in mind, Edmund.
You did your human suffering. All that time in the rookeries and getting exploited by that flopbot fella, that stuff was real and contributed to your character.
Perhaps it did. But that Edmund was forgotten long ago. Go ahead and ask me, therapist. Ask me, who is Edmund Kean? Nay, do not ask. I will tell you.
Okay, alright. I
Edmund
was gonna,
Kean is
but
nothing.
okay.
There is no Edmund Kean.
There is no Gareth Suford.
I have never met the man, or even the boy. I have known Shylock, Richard III, Hamlet, Lear, Othello.
Who is
Macbeth,
Gareth Euphrendor?
Romeo, Cupid.
I've never met the man, or even the boy.
But people loved all of those characters. Wherefore would they love Edmund? Edmund had to become a character as well. And I have played Edmund for so long that naught lies beneath. A hollow man sits before you.
No, you know what I think? I think you haven't played Edmund long enough, and you haven't played Edmund well enough. Because, truthfully, the greatness of Edmund Kean is not in the illusory lies in the walls of performance that he puts up. It's the nuance and the introspection and sort of the quiet moments before the stage that is truly Edmund Kean. I think you've forgotten that.
As the vampires have said, what is a man anyway? A miserable pile of secrets, a mountain of pretty lies.
Eddie, that ain't true, and I'll tell you why. We all lie, Eddie. Deep down, we're all still scared animals who can't tell the difference between a booing audience and a lion ripping out our throats. For all the time my blood was pumping, I played a tough guy. Slaughtering Sam, they called me. I like that name. You want to know why?
Why?
Because it made me feel
Why?
safe. Under that grizzled exterior, I was still just a scared little boy. But that little boy was me, Eddie.
You understand me. Though we have played different parts, the character underneath is the same, perhaps. Do you remember that I played Cupid as a boy?
That was your breakout role, right?
I learned that if I smiled and spoke sweetly, people would view me as something other than street trash. I wouldn't have to go hungry. I wouldn't have to be sold to some bloated factory owner. Edmund Kean was worthless to anyone. Another mouth to feed, another body to clothe. So I knew I had to make him disappear. I thought if I suppressed Edmund and became the character the public wanted, I would be rewarded. But this illusion, this character of Edmund Kean, he has brought me to such unspeakable depths.
That's a good thing, right?
Do you know why I sought to become a vampire? Why I dwelt in dark places until the curse of immortality was given to me? I became a vampire because I was afraid that my son Charles would be a more successful actor than I was. I could not let his legacy overtake mine.
I don't know who Charles Kean is.
I had to be sure that I was the Kean that would be remembered.
Dang, Eddie. That's a lot.
Yes, I have been monstrous. I needed to be the most beloved. I needed my every demand fulfilled. I had my own pet lion. I rode my horse indoors. I flew into a rage if anyone denied me sexual gratification. As an immortal, my fears have made me even more terrible. how many promising young actors I
Oh.
have killed because I felt they threatened my
Oh, this
legacy.
is a crime. This is a criminal confession.
So many lives cut short
Oh.
because I and I alone know what acting must be. Indeed, the very reason I am wearing these clothes is because I could not bear the idea that Grimaldi brought something to the stage that I could not. Do you see how pathetic I am? I am battling a man who has been dead for almost 200 years.
It's true.
The audience was right. I am a most laughable creature. I know what they are thinking, what they have always thought. Look at the fool actor. Look how he debases himself by begging for our approval.
Eddie, you don't know what they're thinking. At all. We've been going over this for months now. All you know is what you know. You're concerning yourself with the thoughts of everyone else that you can't even know. It ain't no wonder that you got no sense of self.
Yes, you're right. I see that now. This monster that is Edmund Kean was created for the audience, but I do not know them. I believe 'twas not my talents that earned the adoration of the public. Perhaps they only ever loved me because I demanded they do so.
Despite being a renowned actor, Edmund is now diminishing any praise he has ever received. He is
Okay.
I believe 'twas not my talents that earned the adoration.
You're going to extremes again, Eddie. Again, you don't know what an audience is thinking. Disqualifying the positive things an audience might see is just as unrealistic as thinking everyone thought you were the greatest actor of all time. Well, the good news, Eddie, is that you can't just demand someone to love you. If they
Is
had
that
nothing
the
to
good
gain
news?
from being
Right,
Edmund
that's
Kean
true.
fans, why were they Edmund Kean fans?
I suppose.
The important thing here is accept things as they are, compadre.
I cannot accept things as they are, my dear boy. How can I? How can I accept that I have forced everyone around me to confirm my lie of an existence? How can I accept the people I defiled to satisfy my ego? The son I was relieved to see die? The blood I have spilled to sustain my legacy?
You start slow.
The lie is all I have, and all I know. I have done such evil to protect it. So much is my poverty of spirit, so mighty, and yet with so many defects, in the vapor of my own glory smothered. No, my dear boy, what is done cannot be now amended. The child Edmund is buried, and this grim-visaged, wretched creature is all that remains.
Eddie, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. You've done some truly awful stuff. And fear doesn't excuse the dastardly deeds you done. The shit you done ain't never going away.
Yes, go on, kick me, jeer, laugh at the vicious clown, tell him what a fool he is.
Yeah, but also people do terrible things. And then Sam's gonna talk about how he used to kill people as well. And look at me here, I'm now a therapist. Never too late to change. Never too late to turn around. Then he's gonna make an analogy of Source.
You ain't gonna play pity tricks on me or yourself. You acted like a lily-livered
okay.
sumbitch, Eddie. I know that, because I've done some awful
But
shit too.
yeah.
Because of my fear, I hurt scores of folks. Some strangers, some near and dear. And because of my fear, I pushed all that stuff down deep where no one could see it, just like you. I was too afraid to face myself. Once I didn't have a choice but to take a good look at myself, my first thought was that I deserved to go meet the sunrise, because I'm a coward too. But there's something else we've got in common in addition to acting like yellow bellies, Eddie. You know what it is?
What is it?
We're on a path to being better.
We got time, Eddie.
Oh, okay.
We got time to become new people. We got time to look at ourselves honestly and say, yeah, I've been a coward, but I ain't gonna be a coward any longer. So what'll it be, Eddie? You're gonna live forever. Will you do it as a coward or as a man?
I don't know how to be a man.
So you're giving up then?
What is a man?
No, I cannot maintain the facade any longer. I am revealed to myself. But Sam, I never learned to be a person. I stopped being real at 8 years old.
I'm sure you'll do the role just fine.
Splot! Why did my fellow actors coddle me so? Why did they let me become a monster? They could have said no, but they did not.
They really couldn't have said no. If they said no, you would have killed them, and you know that.
We ain't focusing on the people who gave in to a kid who was too big for his britches. We're focusing on you.
Oh, you're talking about when you were like a child actor. I don't know them.
You did some real awful things. You killed people for criticizing you or for showing talent. You resented your son's success. These are things you gotta take in.
But how can I put such things behind me?
You don't. You gotta accept the things you've done as part of who you are. You ain't gonna erase the last 200 some years. but maybe you can use them to make a better Edmund going forward.
How? How do I introduce myself as a demanding megalomaniac? How do I introduce myself as a man who was relieved to see his own son die?
Well, that's not who you are entirely. It's a part of you, maybe.
How do I introduce myself as a man who demanded the entire world get on their knees to satisfy his ego?
Because it's not the man you are now.
Well, I wouldn't exactly lead with that stuff. How about you introduce yourself as a man who's figuring himself out?
I suppose that is a possibility. At the least, it is not unexpected for me to be so disarrayed. It is known that we actors are all by nature an insecure people.
Don't call me out like that.
Perhaps I need to find an identity beyond the stage.
Don't.
It protected me in my youth, but
The next thing they're gonna do, they're gonna be like, they went like philosophers have mental problems, they went actors have mental problems, and then they went like Twitch streamers have mental problems. Like, I'm just being attacked over and over again by this game. There's no hope.
That might be worth exploring, Eddie.
But what if I am nothing without the stage? What if I seek other endeavors, but there are none for me?
You know that's not true, and so do I.
You're doing some Nosferatu thinking, Eddie. I've been roaming this earth around the same time as you, and what I picked up is there ain't no extremes. It ain't all or nothing. I guarantee you there's more possibilities out there for you between the grave and the stage. I mean, how long have you even looked for anything beyond the stage?
Not at all, I suppose.
Yeah, I just realized they really put the 4 clients. There's like one of them is a mega nerd who wants to transcend his vampire, his basic natures. The other one is a stuck-up Renaissance like philosopher art snob. One is a very self-absorbed actor, and then like the last one is a streamer. I really think they just made this entire game for me, and I don't like it.
Then let's hold judgment in reserve, huh?
Don't like it.
The theater is all I know. It has been my protector all this time. Without it, I am helpless as a swaddling babe.
Eddie, come on. The stage is the thing you know, but you ain't helpless without it. I mean, maybe you're forgetting the whole superhuman strength and immortality thing that comes with being a vampire. And even besides that, you've learned a thing or two from all them Shakespeare plays beyond acting, I'm sure. You ain't a helpless little boy no more. So don't pretend you're powerless to do something new.
Yes. If anything, I certainly have keen powers of self-pity, do I not?
That's a start.
I wasn't gonna say it. However helpless you might feel, Eddie, remember that's just how you feel right now. That's the amazing thing about being undead. We got lots of time to make a better tomorrow. My mentor, Andy, he says that at 200 years old, we're basically toddlers by vampire standards. We both got a lot of growing up to do.
That is a heartening thought.
If we're doing life right, Eddie, we're always growing up. The trick is not to think we're done growing.
Spoken like the bard himself. As he said, all the world's a stage, and I am barely past mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. I should be of a more mature mind, shouldn't I? Surely 237 years is old enough to be out of nappies.
The thing is, like, I know the game keeps telling you to point out these like sentences like these as cognitive distortions as well. Sorry, I can't slur my words. I know the game points out that sentences like these as cognitive distortion. How, oh, you know, I should really do this. The problem is I'm agreeing, and it might be just me, and maybe that's why I need therapy. But a lot of times my response isn't like that's a distortion. It's more like that is true. And like, if it puts you to work, that's fine. Whereas like the response the game does is like,
who says so, Eddie? A couple of thousand years ago, we would have been considered old men when we died. A baby chick has grown up in a couple of months. There ain't no real timeline we can base our lives on, especially not us. So don't go worrying about where you should be and just get growing.
Yeah, so like I can't help but think I disagree with that, actually, in that like you should on some level maybe not worry about it, but you should think about your stage in life. For example, if you're like 200 something years old and you're acting like a child, I think it is prudent to think to remind yourself that, oh shit, I am like 200 years old, I really should be really should be better, but not in a way that's detrimental to your self-value as a human being, but more so in this is like, there are expectations society and other people set based on age, and while that is arbitrary, nonetheless it is a standard that's set to you. And if you want to make a positive impact on the people around you as well, it's useful to bear that in mind, what those expectations are, even if those are unfair expectations. Even if the expectations on you are unfair, and while you shouldn't let them determine your value of yourself, you should still think about it. You should still think, okay, like my parents expect me to be a certain way, or the institute expects me to behave a certain way, the company expects certain things from me. You shouldn't let that define you, but you should be aware of that. You shouldn't just be like, yeah, don't worry about it, just do you. I think that is a little irresponsible, but I don't know if I'm just falling into the same cognitive disorder, or if I'm making sense.
Yes, I suppose 'tis so. We are so used to judging ourselves against our
because the
peers,
message here is obviously like, oh, don't compare yourself to other people, compare yourself to yourself, which I agree with, but I agree with in the core of that message, which is that you shouldn't let that determine your value, but you should compare to other people, not for any reason other than to just to be familiar with what's in the world. That makes sense. Like, you can't be too disconnected to think, oh, well, as long as I'm working on me, I can move at a snail's pace, or so on and so forth. I don't know.
I was so jealous of Grimaldi that
It's
I was
very
willing to do this to myself.
It's very individualistic.
Grimaldi was Grimaldi.
I'll say that.
And Edmund is Edmund.
That's exactly what I'm saying. We got time to grow, Eddie. Let's just be glad you're a 200-year-old baby and not a 2,000-year-old baby, huh? We'd be having a real different conversation.
I mean,
then.
I suppose they're vampires, so maybe it doesn't apply to them, but this is obviously like an allegory for human therapy, so...
But growth to me seems nigh impossible. I have allowed my fear to guide my every sad-gutted action. My fear told me when I was threatened, which was always.
Eddie, buddy, you're talking out of pain. You weren't driven by fear all the time. It just feels like it right now. I know there's an Eddie in there who loves the stage for its own sake. Ain't that so?
Damn it! You cannot even let a man sulk. Must I be ever so assailed?
This
That's
is
what
I mean,
therapy's
Eddie.
for.
You're always in defensive mode, ready for someone to take you down. That ain't no way to live. When you're afraid of some young actor coming up and making a name for themselves, what's so scary about that anyway?
I'm afraid they will erase me. I will be just another child of the rookeries, used and discarded, of no value to anyone. No history, no legacy, no record of my existence. Edmund fears obliteration, but one can understand why. He has lost his... I'm afraid they will erase me. I will be just another child of the rookeries, used and discarded, of no value to anyone.
But Eddie, there's loads of actors out there, all with different kinds of strengths. There's legends from every era. I'm a Buster Keaton fan myself.
Makes sense.
That fella was one of a kind, just like you were. When he was doing crazy stunts on trains, he weren't no threat to Hamlet.
He was very talented. I wanted to kill him, but I never liked visiting America.
Thankfully, huh?
Well, I'm glad you didn't. But you see that his success didn't do anything to yours. Not every threat means your doom.
Perhaps my time has passed anyway. There was a time when the stage awaited Edmund Kean, but my death was the end of that time. I do not believe the stage waits for... Perhaps...
Okay, we got some real work to do still. Here's the thing,
a lot of
Eddie.
work still.
The stage wasn't waiting for you. Theater wasn't waiting for Edmund Kean to show up, and it wasn't waiting for you to die. You're used to making things about you, but the glorious, wonderful truth is, they ain't. And I got some real good news for you, hombre. You're dead. The pressure's off. All them fears are keeping you locked in time, and you can stay there as long as you like, or you can make some progress. What's it gonna be?
I am too much of a coward to die, so I suppose I must live.
I'm glad to hear that.
I believe I should go away somewhere cold and dark, where I might be alone with my thoughts.
I think that's a great idea. I do the same thing, and it changed my life. Oh, well, my unlife.
I suppose all's well that ends well. I only hope it does.
I got faith in you. As long as we're putting one foot in front of the other, that's progress.
I shall see you in a month then.
You got it, Eddie. Take care of yourself. We'll get you out of that mewling and puking stage before you know it, okay?
So it shall be. Very well. Exit Edmund Keene. Stage left.
I'm surprised he's never done that. I'm surprised this is the first time Edmund has like left a therapy session quoting stage directions. I'm surprised this is the first and only time he's done it.
Bravo, Samuel. I was taking notes. It seems the student has become the master.
And we're getting a little better. I wouldn't say it's master yet.
Only a master of fumbling around. I knew I was taking a risk there.
Driving the past 30 minutes, which not much, just more therapy. Edmund Keene is now sort of aware that of his own sort of his own shortcomings, his shortcomings, and is in despair for how he would be able to change as a human being, as a person. Now he seems a little better. We've got him through that part. That's what you meant.
You were, but perhaps such risks are justified with such an extreme personality. He attempted to gaslight you, but you held fast and challenged him, sternly but fairly. You have a gentle nature. That must have been difficult.
I didn't want to drive him off the edge. I just saw him close to making a breakthrough, and I didn't want him to start sinking again.
Well, you can now count yourself among a very small number of therapists who have made a breakthrough with such a one. I do not count myself among them.
And you let me handle Edmund?
I had faith in you, Samuel. You affirmed it magnificently. Now, please
Good progress
go
indeed.
downstairs and find a friendly neck. You deserve it.
A drink sounds mighty nice right about now. You have a good night, Andy.
Rest in peace, my dear friend.
Dang, I'm a little shaken up after that one. I've never seen a man as afraid as Edmund Keene. That was tough to watch. I'm sure Crimson can lift my mood. Howdy, Crimson.
What's the matter, cowboy? You look a little paler than usual.
Oh, just had a real tough session. Watched a man who'd been wearing a mask for 200 years finally take it off, and it weren't pretty.
No, it weren't.
Had to happen, though. The fella's got a long road ahead of him, but at least he's taking his first steps.
Think this'll do the trick then? I call this a bloody cowboy martini. Shaken, not stirred. I'm proud of you, Sam. Starting over is hard, especially when you've been spinning your wheels for a long time.
Well, that's the nice thing about being a vampire. We got time to start over.
Cheers to that.
To rebirth.
It seems you walk ever in the path of the Lord.
Who's
my
this
son.
again?
Oh, hey, Kieran.
It's Kieran.
I did not mean to intrude. I noted your discomfort and wish to offer you succor in the kink room.
You mind, Crimson?
Not at all. Go drink your fill, cowboy.
Come, my son.
Okay.
Now then, I heard you speak of rebirth.
This is the Matt Mercer guy. It makes sense. Wait, is this the Matt? No. I thought Matt Mercer guy, I thought the other guy was. I can never tell. Normally for voice actors, for some voice actors I follow at least, I'll be like, oh, that's the guy. That's the person. This is the voice from something. And then, oh, I like this voice actor. For Matt Mercer, I cannot fucking tell. I didn't know he was Minsk until much later. Maybe there are many. No, I think he only has one. Let me see. He's Reinhard. Oh, well, he's among other things. He's Reinhard and Kieran. He is Kieran. This is him.
Yeah, it's something we vampires
Yeah, I can't
have to do
tell.
a lot of. I was just worried about one of my
What a
clients having trouble
shapeshifter.
with their
What a
rebirth.
shapeshifter man is.
I know it is painful, my son. When we are born again, we leave a part of ourselves behind. Like the lizard who sloughs its
No, they're
dead skin.
both Reinhard
Or the
and
mortal
Kieran
who
are both
journeys
Matt
into
Mercer.
the mosh pit. We emerge purer than before.
Sounds like you've got a lot of perspective on this stuff, Kieran.
I know you must have questions, my son. Please, ask.
From your spiritual perspective, how do we know when it's time for a rebirth?
An hour, a week, a year, a millennium.
Who's the BF of the goth? That is question good. I don't know. I don't know who the BF of the goth couple is. I'm trying to look for the vampire therapist credit. Voice. My damn keyboards. So Cyrus Namathi is the director and voice of like 5 or 6 characters. He's like the main person. There's also like damn, I can't find it. Oh well. Everyone just copy and paste the same, like there's an all-star cast and it's the same, and it's like a few names. They don't tell you what they play. Very, very annoying. I don't like it. It is what it is.
The answer, my son, is when we are ready. Only the Lord decides when that is. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away, and all is according to his will.
Right, of
Well,
course.
that sounds like a control fallacy, though. We can't let someone else make our decisions.
That sounds
for
like
us.
a fallacy. That sounds like a cognitive distortion of me.
My son, all your trials, the world you live in, they are all his work. He leads you to the truth. When he has prepared you fully, you will accept it and join him along with the dearly departed gods of metal.
Okay.
Do you have more questions for me, my son?
I really didn't have any in the first place. I don't know why we're here. But I guess I
From your
have them, so I might as well
spiritual
ask.
perspective, can we ever truly start over?
My son, you know the answer already. We beings of flesh and blood are also beings of judgment. However, we do not stand in judgment of mortals, but of ourselves. If you believe you have defeated your demons, then you have.
Yeah, that's true. Reminds me a lot of should statements. And defeating demons is pretty badass, ain't it?
Yes, it is the demons who should fear us, my son. Did you have more questions?
Ain't being reborn just rejecting who we were? I wasn't a good guy, Kieran, but I don't want to
You
erase
just
my
noticed I
dark
have a
days.
jacket on. I keep my jacket on for vampire therapists, I think, usually. There's like... I sometimes I take my jacket off as well, and it's just my vest. I think usually I keep it on. And I have my formal wear a lot of times because it's the default thing, and our team keeps reminding me to toggle it off for like a more casual effect, but I'm never casual, I guess.
My son, only in Christ do we truly receive absolution and become beings of pure light.
Well, that's timely at least. Merry Christmas.
Our darkness defines us. We cannot reject it, just as we cannot reject the Almighty. It is part of us. But do not be shamed by it, my son. Your darkness is beautiful and unique, as is your journey through the darkness.
Kinda sounds like disqualifying the positive to me.
Actually, it's liner notes from a metal album I'm fond of.
Hmm.
Did you have more questions to ask?
Why ain't your Lord the fire and brimstone type that's marked my kind for centuries?
The Lord did not do these things. That is the work of man. Even they work through him and face their own dark journeys. But eventually, we will all be blessed and return to his bosom to rock for all eternity. It is not for man to judge.
Goth Matt Mercer sermon.
Well, I've got a lady who would love to meet you. I think a few men of the cloth did her dirty.
Men will ever seek power. But I know some simply seek
Men
love.
will ever seek power. It's true. It's true.
Are you ready to receive succor, my son?
I think.
Yeah, but I really wish you'd stop calling it that. That is enlightening.
There. May you be sustained and fulfilled. May you shepherd your lost sheep, as I shepherd the children of the night.
You're a one-of-a-kind dude, Kieran. But thanks for the drink and the talk. You have a fine night.
Godspeed, my son.
Good evening, Samuel. You are seeing your ancient client tonight, are you not?
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I hope she's doing okay. I'm worried about her and that whole algorithm thing.
So am I.
I had a little consultation with some other elder vampires. We have developed a theory, though I hope we are wrong.
Yeah?
We believe the algorithm is a demon, none too few, named Raziel. Even I have only ever heard whispers of his name.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
In mythology, he is a fallen angel, believed to have recorded every action, every change of state for all things on this earth into a great book. This book of knowledge he shared with the first mortals. But mortals were not designed to process so much information at once.
Okay.
They made judgments and reinforced behavior based on information they could not understand.
Yeah?
Raziel watched as the mortals inevitably used the book to suppress free will, and he was cast down for his terrible mistake. We believe that Raziel has returned. Perhaps he believes that with computers, he can attempt to pass infinite knowledge to humanity once more.
The only gripe I have with that theory, I think most of it is pretty sound. I think it's a good theory. It could be Raziel. My only gripe is that the knowledge is not infinite, just incomprehensibly large. And I do think there is a meaningful difference. I know it might just seem like I'm picking his words here in this specific, but I do think there is a good distinction to make here. It's just incomprehensibly large. It's just a lot. It's not infinite. It is not everything. And I think the mistake is when it's infinite, you know you can find everything there. Like when it's the difference between very large and infinite is that very large there is the possibility for things to be missing in very large, and there is no possibility for anything to be missing in a set of infinite. Source, monkeys and typewriters, Library of Babel, the extensive part of the lore my lore that I did research for, like there is a key difference, and I think in fact that difference and that distinction is good for understanding the algorithm, because just because it seems as though there is such a huge such a huge breadth of knowledge available to us through this technology does not mean that everything is there. Some things are just not there. Most things aren't, but some things are. And so do not make the mistake of thinking everything you could possibly think of is going to be in that machine. There's a lot of stuff, though. There's a lot of nice stuff. There's like VTubers in there, I heard.
Terrible things will happen if this comes to pass. I would urge great caution, Samuel.
It's already come to pass.
Find out what you can about this algorithm. We may have dark work to do.
I've told you everything I knew about this algorithm. What's the dark work to do? The dark work to do is to walk into people's lives again and shake them really hard, and maybe not violently, but just to shake them, go and have them snap back to reality. Have them realize what they're doing, and be mindful of how they engage with all of this, and help everyone find their balance for healthily being able to engage with one such algorithm. We'll see.
What the hell? Fallen angels? Ancient books of knowledge? What the heck have I walked into? We don't have this kind of shit in America.
Sam, it's where it came from, really.
I am old enough to be mythological myself, Samuel. Myth often contains truth. The important question is how much. We do not know what effect he may have had on Mehdi.
Repair big smoked lamb leg real quick. Be out of chat for a bit, no problem. I hope that goes well. It sounds good. Sounds good.
But do not worry. Show her the same compassion you show all your clients, and that will open any doors that can open.
All right, I better prepare for this one. Sounds like it might be a doozy.
Mehdi is fuck it. I just picked 4 random ones. I don't really. I wanted to say I don't care, but when I say I don't care, it's not that I don't care about the games. I don't care if I get like the distortions right or wrong. I have very little investment in being able to point these distortions out so much as I am, and like just seeing the therapeutic journey these characters go through.
Howdy, Mitty. It's good to see you. How you feeling?
In
tonight?
other words, I don't really care for the game aspect of this game anymore. I'm just here for like the story. They're hopefully gonna wrap up somewhat soon. I am 6 streams deep into this game.
Not well, sweetling. Not well at all.
Oh no, what's going on? I know you were feeling all stressed about your numbers on that glitch site.
Again, I do not appreciate being called out every other therapy session. I'm just the player of the game. Okay, you have to understand.
Doxing is, my whiskery friend?
Oh God,
It's when
I do.
mortals find out where you live, where you sleep, so they can hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
A group of vampire hunters came looking for me. They were really mean, but they're all dead now. Much happier. But it was very inconvenient.
I can imagine.
Now I have to move. And it is very difficult to set up my lighting to make me look alive.
Dang, Mitty, I'm so sorry. That sounds awful.
It's worse. I will not be able to use my computer for a week. How am I going to upload my content?
You just have to tell people in stream beforehand that that's what's going on, and they'll understand you. That's what you do.
My fans and zealots are all so impatient. They're sure to leave me if I don't provide them
Probably.
with their
They probably
content.
won't. They might actually, but they won't. They probably won't. But that lingering fear does stick with you. I know it does.
So, how many of these followers and zealots have you got, Mitty?
Perhaps 2 million zealots and 90 million followers on Glitch.
Pretty good.
And how many of them do you think you'll actually lose if you don't upload lots of content?
The algorithm has already told me that I will lose millions of followers.
So let's go ahead and listen to the algorithm. If you lose millions of followers, it ain't anywhere near 90 million. It's doing a bit of overgeneralization and catastrophizing to think they're all gonna leave you high and dry. Heck, maybe the folks who stay are the ones what you can really count on.
What you can really count on what?
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 Oh, never mind.
You said what?
I was trying to say that the people who don't mind you not uploading so much might be better folk to keep around.
It's not up to me, little mice. It's not up to them either. Even the little bloodbags who love me won't get to see me if I don't provide them content.
I don't get it. Why wouldn't they see it? Is the mailman or whatever not delivering your messages?
You're very funny. No, the algorithm decides who sees my content. If I give it content, it will make people like me more.
Okay, I know it's a video game, and I know that this is contemporary internet culture, but I just don't. I cringe a little every time they say the word algorithm and they mystify it, and a lot of people do that as well, where they mystify, oh, it's the algorithm. Like it's not this. We've given it a name and we've given it too much power. We have imagined it to be much bigger of a force than it actually is. In reality, it's dangerous and it's annoying, but it's kind of like saying, it's kind of just like using the word capitalism a lot, where sure, you're probably pointing to the direction of that thing but I don't think you're really grasping what you're talking about if you constantly just use the word over and over again, without digging deeply into what that word means and what is implied within it. In this case, it's no exception. I think they use the word algorithm so fucking much in the writing, and I get that there's no better way to explain or to get through what they wanted, what the writer in this case being the director of the game as well, who's the voice for like many characters. But I think what's his name? I have to internalize that whenever I make a critique. Cyrus Namadi, sorry, who is the voice of Sam, Maxi, Dr. Drain, Edmund, Bert, and Andromachos. He's like half the game. His voices. And I just don't think he's cooking. Sometimes when he goes like, here's what the algorithm is. I think that analogy with the demon Raziel was kind of interesting. Beyond that, I think he has a good understanding of the algorithm, but not I don't want to. I'm being very harsh because I'm being swayed by a very harsh criticism of the game that I read like earlier yesterday. I apologize if you're watching this, Cyrus. You're probably not. I don't think, Cyrus, you care that much about what I have to say about your game. But if you do, I think it's a good explanation of what the algorithm is. I think you have a good understanding of what it is. However, I think that the way the algorithm is used in this game as a narrative element is not that interesting. As a part of the believability of this Twitch streamer e-girl therapy client, sure, it makes sense to mention it a lot, but I think it's being mentioned more than it needs to. Whereas I say that I was gonna say because it feels like Medi is then just like reduced to a caricature of a streamer, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of streamers are like this. Like it's not that far to suggest that, you know, everyone just talks about the algorithm all the time. The fact is that they do, and it doesn't piss me off, but it does annoy me a little bit. I think it's like I don't want to hear questions about the algorithm. Okay, like okay, no. Let me rephrase. I want criticisms of I want questions. Sorry, I'm like reading messages. I'm reading chat while I'm talking. I want, if someone asks me a question about the algorithm, either it is a general like, oh, what do you think of it? Or I want a very, 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 very specific question about it. Otherwise, it's like, this is all mostly common knowledge and we all know it, and it's just a matter of dealing with it, is what I think. I think we have a very good idea of what the fuck an algorithm is. We don't know how it operates exactly, but we know the effects of it, and we know that it's a cancer, it's a plague upon society, and we also know that it's what every influencer cannot stop talking about. What I wanted to see from the game that I'm not seeing now, that I might see in the future, I'm not sure, personally, is I would have liked to see Medi constantly obsess over the algorithm, and for the therapists, for the vampire, for Andromachos and for Sam Walls to go, listen, this algorithm thing, it sounds kind of dangerous, but you know, also to ground her outside of that, because at the end of the day, I don't think it's that big of it. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad take. This might be a bad take. I'm having second thoughts as I'm expressing this opinion already. I can't quite articulate what I truly feel yet, because I'm not very certain. All I'm certain is I just think the word algorithms used too fucking much. And I want to stop thinking and talking about it. I just think there are more interesting things to think and talk about. I don't know, slicing the meat since the bell. Welcome back then. Welcome back. Send an email regarding your criticism. Don't well, if you want to, I guess you can. I wouldn't be opposed to Cyrus seeing my comments on the game. I just doubt that it would be very helpful and useful, because what the fuck do I know? Like, I'm not a game dev, I'm not a writer, I've never been to therapy, and I certainly am not a voice actor. All of the comments I'm making, I'm not in a good position to, beyond just, hey, I'm a gamer and this is what I like about the game. And then, like, frankly speaking, I don't think it's that important. Sure as the sun shines and rain bolts, I'm here. Welcome, Ditto. Welcome, Tara. Ditto. Welcome. Is it weird? Like, is it weird recalling people's names when they come in? Because people do that. A lot of, so Tara, you weren't here, but like earlier in the stream, I was ranting about how I was not ranting. I was talking about how I spent some time watching other indie VTubers the other day, and like a lot of the smaller ones, at least the ones like maybe not similar to my size, because I'm really fucking no one cares about Karis Ufanor, but the people who are slightly larger, they greet all their like chat members. They go, hey, how's everyone's day going? They care about chat. They ask them questions about their day. I have never done that. I don't care. I'm not going to ask you how your day was going. If you feel like telling it, you can tell it. I'm not going to stop you from telling how your day was, but I'm not going to ask you. And I'm certainly not going to greet every chat member by name either. And I didn't realize how uncommon that was. Very strange. Grass grows, birds fly, sun shines, and brother, I watch Casu. You do. That's true. Everyone here does too. Everyone here watches Casu from weird. I do as well. I really shouldn't be spending so much time watching Karasu from our streams, but yet I do. Libana will no doubt hear about the developed criticism later. Yeah, I'm preparing to my overall thoughts for the game as we draw closer to the end, because I think we're somewhat closer to the end now. I hope we are. The game's, I think, going on for quite a while, that I think it's a good time to like wrap up personally.
If I stop
in my
it shuns me.
Mitty, I gotta say, that doesn't sound like a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's my friend, I should think. As long as I keep producing content for it, it draws the juicy mortals.
Man, you gotta understand, you can't have all these dang old computers replacing your social interactions. Is that what he sounds like? That's what Sam would say, right? That's what I should say as Sam.
How many mortals do you need, though, really?
Well, if I'm to feel safe, I should like to have more of them.
Maddie, you have to understand. Okay, you have to understand that there's enough. Like, enough's enough, and people are way too obsessed with the numbers side of it. If I'm in a room with more than 5 people, I'm already uncomfortable. I don't need to be in a room with more than 5 people. More than that, it's not that I don't like. I don't. Any number more than 5 is not a real number to me. Okay, any number that's higher than is a higher number than 5 is just a crowd. Now it's a crowd. It's no longer like I'm in a room with other people. I'm in a room with a crowd of people. And when it's a crowd, like when it's a mound of sand, when it's a pile of sand, it doesn't matter how many more grains you put on top of it. It's a fucking pile of sand. So you don't need 90 million grains of sand for it to be a mound. You only really need 6. Is what I was trying to say, Med.
I gain more followers and zealots every month. I
wish I could say the same. I don't.
Agreed to let me eat him, and I'll take over his flat. They're quite useful.
They do that, and like you need to resist the temptation if you have it, because people say stupid shit online. Everyone does. That's what people do online. They say stupid shit. That's the whole thing. No one says anything in. Okay, not no one. Very few people say things that are intelligent online. You have to just get used to that.
Do you actually like any of these followers or zealots? Or are they all just food or servants?
What a silly question, little mouse. Of course I don't like them.
It's true, same here.
I know what they're like. You forget how old I really am.
Shit.
Medi again believes she knows the entire internet, but can this really...
What a silly question.
Oh, now I gotta challenge you on that, miss. I know you got a lot of followers and zealots or whatever they're called,
with a cat or answer, you're already uncomfortable. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Now, I'm sure you know a lot about mortals on them websites you're using, but that ain't all mortals, and all mortals ain't them.
It's not just them, though. I told you about how they killed me, about how they plucked my eye out. Pop.
I'm saying, can you know that you're always right about mortals?
I wouldn't like to prove that I am.
But these mortals, you're talking to them every day. You got all these folks at your beck and call. They're the people you talk to.
That's right.
But you don't have a real relationship with any of them?
Why would I want to have a relationship with my food? You really are quite a silly whiskers.
Betty, I'm saying the only relationships you've got are with what you're calling your food.
That's true. You ever tried talking to a friend? Or anyone that's not your therapist?
But that's what they are. They're food. Delicious, delicious food. Food that sometimes does heavy lifting and computer work, but still, food.
With that kind of labeling, that's all they're gonna be. You're creating a prophecy for them to fulfill.
Isn't that the point? I do want them to enjoy being eaten. I don't like cruelty to animals.
You don't like cruelty, huh?
I'm trying to say they can provide more than food. Just
Sorry,
like
do you hear me like
Yeah,
rumbling?
they might nip at you, but they usually only do that when they're scared.
I hope you don't.
Maybe you're right. Well, the vampire hunters certainly were very afraid when I pulled their intestines out. Well, it's just intestines. They're not very scary.
Maybe it sounds like you're in a bit of a codependent relationship with your food, and maybe with this algorithm fella.
Oh, but it's not a fellow. And it's not a lady either.
So it's non-binary?
No, it claims that it is entirely binary. All ones and zeros. Does speak very strangely sometimes.
I'm sorry. I understand the joke. I think it's like a little funny, but it is also like, this is a first draft joke, okay? This is a, no offense, Cyrus, this is a first draft joke.
Well, whatever they are, seems like as soon as they showed up, you stopped having any real friends.
We wouldn't have time for friends anyway. The algorithm says that I should always provide content to my community, and that takes all night.
But here's the thing.
That
this
takes a long time,
algorithm,
doesn't it?
It might have all the information, but that doesn't mean it's got all the answers.
You don't know it like I do. Do you know what I really like about the algorithm, Little Mice?
I know I don't like any of it.
Unlike the ancient gods the old clans used to worship, or the Abrahamic gods that came after, it treats us equally. If we provide content, we will be rewarded.
It's just like, I didn't pick the right fucking stones.
Let's talk about these rewards. You say it rewards you with more immortal souls, right?
Highly engaged mortal souls, ready to serve.
Highly engaged indeed.
But you said you had souls already back in the pre-social media days, right? And you didn't need 90 million of them.
That's true, but it does make me feel quite special when the number goes up.
Is that number going up good for you, though? Not just the stress of managing all them folks.
I'm gonna be honest, not
but drawing
really.
the attention of vampire hunters.
I'm gonna be honest. The moment it hits 1,000, I don't want to look at the number anymore. And I only care about 1,000 not because of the number, but because of the way monetization works on YouTube. The moment that's done, I am not looking at the number anymore. I will not give a fuck.
Would you be doing any of this stuff if the algorithm wasn't demanding it?
Did ask me to play a game that I did not like very much the other night, and I pretended to enjoy it.
You are not the first and last to do so, Medi. Don't worry.
It's called Call of Nationalism. It's all about men who are proud to
Call
be
of
angry.
Nationalism?
I find very upsetting.
Call of Nationalism. It's about men who are proud to be angry, which I find very upsetting. There's a lot of games about men who are proud to be angry. There's many films, many shows, many stories where that feature men who are proud to be angry that other men tend to grow up and idolize, and it's a little unfortunate that that's the case, but there's also a lot of nuanced media out there, so maybe just play. What I'm trying to say is play it. Maybe try playing. Have you tried playing a good game, Medi? Have you tried playing the Stanley Parable, Medi?
See, that's just what I'm talking about. What about what you want? Did you get to that knitting you wanted to do?
You're gonna get monetization and instantly start churning out ASMR. No, that's not the plan. That is not the plan.
No.
If the plan was to do that, I would have been doing that now. If I wouldn't be doing the harder thing and then just like until I reach a certain milestone and then do the easier thing. I would just start doing the easier thing, hit the milestone, and then do the more difficult. If that was my intent.
I don't know what to do.
I'm not saying ASMR is easy. Actually, you know what? I am saying it. ASMR is easy. ASMR cannot be that hard. ASMR cannot be that difficult, I imagine. I've done some research. It seems like it's good. I think it's good, and I think that people who do it are skilled at their craft. I think it is a craft. However, I think in the realm of craftsmanship, for content creation, content creation, not curation, for creation, ASMR is not that difficult. Okay, it's not that difficult. The moment you figure it out, right? That's it. There's not much like innovation afterwards.
But I can't live the life I used to live. I would live out in the wilds again, but there are no wilds any longer.
It's true. We've destroyed all of the forests.
I walk the streets. City folks stare because they sense my true nature.
Many of them mortals have got a ton of things on their minds. Most likely, they ain't too concerned about what
No one pays as much attention to you as you do yourself.
They ain't your zealots or followers, they're just regular mortals. You can't read their minds, and you can't assume they're only thinking about you. Unless you can read minds.
FIFA, isn't that nationalistic? I mean, with all the flags there and it being football, I do think that's this. I find that disagreeable. But maybe I'm observing the wrong crowd. I don't know. I don't play FIFA.
You raise an excellent point for a cute little whisker face. No, I can't read their minds. Can't imagine how a mortal must think. Oh, very silly job. Oh, politics. Oh, grim spectre of death. I must drink alcohol in order to have sex. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum.
Yeah, that's exactly how they think, actually. You got it spot on, Mitty.
Well, you ain't too far off.
The experiences I've had with mortals have not been happy ones. My pink-nosed, scrabbly-clawed, long-tailed friend.
Well, these mouse descriptions are getting kind of long.
They are.
You just don't understand what a mouse you are.
I don't care for it personally.
It's the mortal's fault I must lock myself away in my flat. It's the mortal's fault that I have to use the internet to survive.
Shit.
Medi has had some.
Medi, you're acting more helpless than you are. You're 1,800 years old.
Football clubs with their own pseudo-nations? Yeah, they are. Trees and poles painted the club's color. And then 5 streets away a different club color. I've seen the same walls being painted over and over and over. Like by the other, like it's just.
You gotta know there's a heck of a lot of ways.
I don't know.
I
never understood the whole.
Lack of control.
I never understood sports, like, and like team loyalty, is that the word? And like just cheering for a team. I can understand watching sports and watching to enjoy the game and, you know, to appreciate people who perform at a very high level. I personally don't quite get the like, oh, that's my team, let's go. I guess like, it makes sense that having someone to root for helps your enjoyment of when you're watching the game, but then like beyond that, I don't know.
I mean, heck, at your age, you're probably a billionaire, right?
Maybe. I think so. Probably.
But I also don't follow like sports narratives, so I imagine if I did and I really loved one team for a very specific reason, I would probably stick with them because I like these players, they do these things, or they've gone through, you know, terrible things in life and they grinded really hard to get to their position. Maybe I would enjoy them, but I have not invested that much time.
Medi, there are immortal billionaires who live in bunkers and do depraved shit even we vampires couldn't imagine.
I mean, yeah.
I reckon you could spend a few bucks to be left alone. But also, you're spending a lot of time on mortals you don't like.
Would you be very fond of mortals who did this to you?
Yeah, but they're not the same mortals, Medi.
Well, no, I wouldn't. And I didn't say you should. But you gotta admit, you're giving a lot of time and energy to people you don't like.
That's true. I'm giving a lot of energy and time to people I don't like.
You're resenting them, and I can't blame you.
Of course I resent them. They're all quite awful. Any one of them would hurt me if given the chance.
I don't think that's the...
I gotta challenge you on that one, Medi. Why in the heck would your followers be jumping right to hurting you? Maybe they'd ignore you. Maybe they'd catch a picture at the cinema. Maybe they'd fart Yankee Doodle Dandy.
I'd quite like to hear that.
The point I'm trying to make is there's a million things your followers might prefer doing other than hurting you. Let me ask you a question. If you're thinking all these followers of yours are a certain way, what if you're right?
Very frustrating, silly whiskers. You keep telling me that I'm doing cognitive distortions, and then you say they're correct.
Well, I'm just wondering about these mortals the algorithm sends your way. What does it say about you that makes them check you out in the first place?
Well, I suppose it shows them that I'm pretty, and that I play video games they like. And they might get to see my body parts.
Maybe I get like I'm 0.5 out of 3 of these, I guess.
Do they know that you're clever and funny? Do they know that you've got more life experience than they could ever reckon?
I don't think they ever do. I don't think they do. I don't think they know. I always make it a point to assert how clever and funny I am and how much more life experience I have than everyone else because of my the wisdom that's come with my age. But sometimes it seems like it falls on deaf ears. I don't know though. I don't know. It could.
There's no time to talk about that kind of thing, silly. They scroll past streamers very quickly.
Okay, well, all right, that's true, but...
I have less than a second to make an impression. That's what the algorithm tells me.
Those are the rules
so you got
for
all
the game
these
you play.
millions
Yeah.
of mortals following you because you're easy on the eyes and like some of the same video games they like?
More like easy on the eye.
Okay,
Got
I
him.
get it. But the point is, if the algorithm is sending mortals your way based on good looks and some video games, you ain't getting people who like you for you. You're getting mortals who want content, not medi. Frankly, it ain't no surprise that you don't have much respect for them.
You're very sweet, little mouse. But the algorithm knows what mortals want, and it's not me. They want my body and my video games.
Is that
I
true?
don't have anything else they want.
That true, chat. That's the first time I cannot, like, that sentence. I don't usually enjoy using the word chat. I don't really like the word chat, but that is the first time. That was one of the few sentences I've ever had to say in my life where there was no other word that could have done a better job than the word chat. Is this true, chat? You just want my body and my video games?
Don't let this stupid algorithm reduce you to your looks and the games it tells you to play. It's insulting all that you are as a unique individual.
I understand what you're trying to say, Willy Whiskers McMouseface III, but you don't know the algorithm as I do. It doesn't insult anyone. It just collects all the information about everyone and everything.
Humbug, thank you.
Recognizes patterns and shows me what those patterns are. What it decides is important is based on the thoughts of every human who has ever been online. It truly knows the will of mortals because it knows all mortals.
There's a rant. Oh, I can talk about that. I didn't talk about that. Maybe I'll talk about that like after this session. I could talk about Markiplier's like stream. I'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll talk about that tomorrow and more. I think I want to tomorrow or the day after. The day after. I'll talk about that the day after when I stream House Flipper or something. How Markiplier talked. Markiplier had a little bit of. I watched a clip of him talking about honey, and then towards the end of the clip, he was ranting about how what was he talking about? He's talking about rage bait essentially in the algorithm and how that fuels people's desire for attention and content. And although it's not a new point, he articulated it in a way. He articulated it in a way to me that I quite enjoyed. Like I think that was a good way to articulate the problem. The problem is not new to me, but yeah. Is it the Honey Sancho thing? Yeah, it's like there's like a 20-minute clip from like a membership stream Markiplier did a while ago where he talks about honey, and then I watched that. Which week I can't talk about now, but I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll talk about it tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, the next I'll talk about it next stream.
You must free Med.
What it's doing is overgeneralizing, Medi. How the heck can all of humanity be reduced to formulas? It can't. So what's it doing? It's shaping humanity by reinforcing what folks are already paying attention to. It's telling you to play Call of Nationalism and rely on sex appeal. It's telling the mortals to only care about them things that are popular already. Don't explore. Don't appreciate things that are weird and unique. If this algorithm gets what it wants, what'll happen? Earth will be the most boring place in the universe. Medi, this algorithm doesn't appreciate you, and it's teaching you not to appreciate yourself.
The commodification of and like the obsession with standardizing things is, I wouldn't say an invention of the algorithm. It's more of a symptom of like larger socioeconomic moves that the world has moved to in somewhat recent times, but it's a very large issue. The good news is it's been here for a long time.
You're right, little mice. I am forgetting myself. I think I don't want to feel lonely anymore. I want to be liked.
Something comforting to think about might be that you are not the only person who feels that way, Medi. A lot of people feel that way too.
You ain't gonna be happy if you're being liked for being some boring idea of what someone else thinks you should be.
I really have been very silly, haven't I? The algorithm isn't nice at all, I think.
It's not. It keeps telling you to do Class of 09 streams.
I'm glad you're getting that this algorithm is abusing you. I don't wanna
Well,
see
okay,
change
I wouldn't
what
want
makes you
to.
special.
I wouldn't call that abuse. I wouldn't. Well, not for me. Maybe for Medi, yeah, yeah. But I would not for me.
But I won't have anyone. I'll be alone.
You were alone already, Medi.
No, that's
These
not
relationships
what you
you've
should have
got
said.
online
That
with
when
all
I
these
said
faceless
challenge,
mortals, they ain't real.
when I said challenge, I was like, I thought it was, you know, like, are you sure you'll be alone? No, you're very capable of like going out and looking for friends. You know, like rather than, oh yeah, you will be alone, but it's okay. No, you're not gonna be. Like, frankly speaking, most of all of you, if you do feel that way, and you have to understand that like you can get out of it very easily. I truly think it's possible, but you just need to know what you're looking for.
Those friends you had a few years ago, they sounded real.
I suppose I could send them all an email.
Me, when I'm on leave for a little bit, I suppose I'll send them all an email, letting them know my office
There was
hours are
something
closed.
about you all that made you join that web ring or whatever it was called. I don't know, but I bet they'd be happy to hear from you.
I think I will send them a message. They were all very strange.
Oh, he's not talking
like
about
me.
chat. She's talking about the old friends she had on web forums.
We're all strange, Medi. We're all
Yeah,
individuals.
like, you know, jump into
Maybe
a
they were
Discord
just your
group
kind of
with your
strange.
friends and play video games together. Do
You
that.
are very sweet, little mouse. I could give you some of my zealots if you like. They'll do what I tell them to do.
I wouldn't mind, honestly, but
Well, that's okay. I'm happy letting them live their lives freely. They deserve to find out what they actually like, too.
you see own abusive relationship with algorithm. Could be worse. Could be worse. He keeps making a compelling case for ASMRs. I don't. Yeah, it does. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I don't think I agree, but no, I think I do. I just click. I just open up like, you know, ASMR something, and then it's just like views after views. I click into it. It's just tapping and whispering. They're not even doing any of the interesting shit that some other, like, there are some really good ASMR artists that do well as well, but there are some ASMR artists who are quite lazy, who don't do that much, and all they do is whisper sweet nothings into your ear and pretend like they are your friend for about 40 minutes, and then the illusion fades away and you go, oh, I am alone, no, you know, like, and then you click onto their next video, and then eventually you buy their Patreon and whatever, and it's just like, it's so easy. It's so easy. I keep thinking that if I really wanted to do it, I could, but I'm not going to. And then I just anger myself. I'm frustrated. And then I'm back to waving my fist at the sky at nothing. At nothing. This isn't a problem. This isn't like a big deal. This is just a thing that happens, and now I'm taking it too personally. As I do everything.
You are very soft and squishy for a vampire. But
Dang.
I will message my old friends.
And if you're gonna do this streaming thing, try streaming things you honestly enjoy. Make a new account.
Even if they
be
don't
yourself
do a
and
lot
see
of
who
numbers,
shows
like
up.
Vampire Therapist. even if the algorithm doesn't care, you should make 6 streams of Vampire Therapist anyways, because it's a game you just really want to try out.
I think I will do that. I'll keep my only zealots, though. They can be very useful.
You do what's best for you. And don't let anyone but you make that decision.
You are so very sweet. Are you sure I can't take you home and let you
You're
run on a
really
wheel all
committed
night?
to the mouse bit, Medi, that's for sure. You're really committed to this.
I'm pretty sure. I'll see you next month then, right? I want to hear all about how you're handling your weird self.
Oh, but you are a very, very naughty mouse with a very dirty mouse mind.
I didn't mean it like that.
You are very funny. I will see you in a month then. Now I shall become a mouse too, but with wings.
Excellent.
That's
work,
crazy.
son.
She moved the whole chair away.
I believe Medi understands the source of her discomfort.
You think this Raziel is gonna get upset at losing her?
If I understand correctly, Raziel has no power if he is ignored, but he is unusually tempting to listen to. It sounds as though he has the mortals quite beguiled, and many of our kin as well. But you give me faith that he can be defeated, one individual at a time if need be.
I ain't never defeated a dark god before.
There is a first time for everything, my dear Sam.
I was actually just
After
about to
all,
say that, but
haven't you
I
been
thought
dancing?
that would be like uninteresting to say, and then Andromachos said it, and now I wish it to. Time for everything.
You really got to bring that up, huh?
Mostly for the reaction. Now, my friend, make sure you get something to drink. You shall not have trouble finding
Does he
willing
play?
necks, I'm
Does
sure.
Cyrus plays
You are coming
Sam
quite a
as well? I don't think he
celebrity
does.
if you
Does
are
he? Check. He does. Cyrus plays Sam and Andromachos, and like Drain. Like it's all just one guy. Incredibly talented. I mean, needless. Like I don't have to say it. Incredibly talented.
Beating fallen angels is thirsty work. I'm ready for a drink.
Slake your thirst then, my friend. Rest in peace.
Funny to think vampires being born now are growing up with the internet. We're gonna have to reckon with that someday.
Yeah, we are.
I hope Maddie's realized that being herself is the best person she can be. Well, speaking of which, I should go check on Crimson. Hey, Crimson, what's on tap tonight?
Take a look around, cowboy. There's plenty to drink.
Well, maybe I'll go looking for a donor. Just figured I'd say howdy to my pal Crimson first.
Well, howdy, sharpshooter. You look like you're in a good mood tonight.
Yeah, I guess I am. You know that ancient client I told you about? I think she's finally realizing that some people are gonna appreciate her for being who she is.
Hopefully. I mean, I'm sure.
Maybe
Probably.
she ain't gonna have 100
Not
million
that many.
fans, but the people who genuinely like her will be there for her.
How's your blood sugar, honey? I think you're a little too sweet.
Oh, come on now.
I've been thinking a lot about exactly what you're saying. Folks in DC didn't much like my style, but I'm not sure why I cared.
Don't beat yourself up over it. I think we all do the same thing. Easier to do what other folk are doing than blaze a trail, right?
I'm not sure it is easier if we're fighting ourselves the whole time.
That's some real wisdom right there.
Anyway, thanks for making me think. I think I'm done spinning my wheels.
Do the Nosferatu exist in this game? I think they refer to the Nosferatu. They refer to Dracula as well. These are just like other vampires that are around, and they don't really have anything personally to do with them, but they're like folklore legends, maybe something to that effect. Back ate too much smoked lamb? No such thing. Smoked lamb is awesome.
Excuse me.
Oh,
I
it's
wish to speak with you, vampire, in the kink room.
I'm done with my therapy. I work on people's mental health. You know, we make a lot of progress together. I come down to get a drink, and I'm immediately invited to a kink room. Like, I mean, I know it's the vampire game, and I know it's the vampires, but
I think my dinner's calling. I'll see you later, Crimson.
Ciao, Tex.
You know, I have seen what you are doing. I see all.
Okay.
So you mentioned Panoptabella, and what am I doing?
I see that you change people. You make them stronger, more confident, more comfortable.
A nice way to put it.
I'm pretty sure they're doing all that themselves.
I was actually gonna say it's a nice way to put it, but I'm not doing most of the work.
No, that is not what I see. I see that without you, they repeat their actions over and over again.
Yes, but without them, I'm not doing anything. You have to think about it that way, Panoptabella.
Usually, I can see the future because people repeat themselves. But you make the future uncertain. I do not like what I cannot see.
All right, I'm gonna leave now, and you can close your eyes if you'd like.
Well, why do you need to see everything anyway, Panoptabella? Ain't it exhausting?
To see all is to see danger and avoid it.
You don't have to see everything to see danger. You can just see danger.
I see that you wish to say something, but are holding back.
I had a smart ass comment that I probably decided was better not to say.
Well, I try to do my therapy stuff just in therapy. It ain't right to be analyzing folk without their consent.
Then consent is given. To see all is to see danger and avoid it.
Well, see, what that is a control fallacy.
It's actually a control
kind of
fallacy.
Cognitive distortion.
It's not actually how you think.
The future's always got elements we can't count on. You can be prepared to a certain extent, but you ain't ever gonna know everything. You can only see what's in front of you after all.
Interesting. Then what do you believe I should do?
Well, just that. See what's in front of you. See how you feel about right now, not yesterday or tomorrow.
And then you realize that when you broaden your scope too much and when you quote unquote see everything, it's just a zoomed out picture. You can't, like, it's the same as like when you zoom out in like Google Maps or like, you know, Earth or whatever, and then you see the whole world, and like, yeah, you see the entire Earth, you see the whole planet, but you don't see the details because you're just too zoomed out. But then in order to see the details, you have to zoom in, and you can't see what's around you anymore. That's the point. You will never be able to see everything. Even when you think you're seeing everything, you really aren't. And when the more you zoom in, the less your scope is, but the more details you see. There's just all that is to say is you're at full seeing capacity at all time, at any scope, really.
Right now, you can see.
I see. Yes, I see that. I would like you to drink from my neck right now.
See, that wasn't so hard.
I see more clearly, vampire. I thank you.
Okay.
And I thank you for the blood.
I hope your torpor is most satisfying. I shall see myself out.
Glasses with a telescope lens and with a microscope lens. Oh. Have you ever tried something like that where it's like, okay, I don't know if you have, it's kind of like, I don't know, none of you have lazy eye, do you? If you have lazy eye, you'll know what I mean, where like, if you split your eyes, you don't see two things, you see zero things. That's what I mean. But that only works if you have lazy eye and you know what I mean. If you don't really experience lazy eye, you can't quite understand what that means. But when it splits up, you don't see more, you see less. Like almost paradoxically.
Oh yeah, good night, Panopticon.
Because your brain just can't comprehend what's going on, all that's going on.
I think that was a pretty successful night. Coffin time for old Sam.
And time for old Sam it is.
Well, if it isn't the gunslinging guru of mental health himself. Good evening, son.
Good evening.
It seems you have made quite a reputation for yourself in a very short time.
Seems
it's hard
good
to believe I've only been here in Germany for 6 months. In that short time,
6 months for 6
I've grown more
streams.
than I have
Yes,
in the last
excellent.
200
We're on
years.
schedule.
You are quite correct, Samuel. It is truly gratifying to see you grow and change. Of course, our mental health journeys never quite end, do they? I am sure you still have much to talk about, but let us first take a moment to breathe and meditate.
That sounds like a good idea. Give me a chance to center myself.
Very good. Now close your eyes and enter your place of comfort.
Isabella d'Este. I wonder. Nah, how was Andy squeezing to that suit anyway?
How do you feel, Samuel?
Shit.
Yeah, not bad. My thoughts are all over the place, but that ain't unusual.
I'm glad you have that perspective, my friend. What came up for you tonight?
I've still got my head wrapped up in my past wrongs. I feel like kind of a yellow belly for running away from them to come here.
Well, you're not running away from them, are you?
But dang it, there's me labeling myself again.
Turns out that you can split each stream into 1 month each. I don't know if it was intentional. I think it just lined up very well. It's also because there's like 4 clients. I don't know, actually. Yeah, there's 4 clients and you see them once every month. And I've been trying to see, like, every week I want to try to see all of them. So maybe that works out.
Why are you calling yourself a yellow belly then?
It's a pattern of mine, that's all. I gave you my history, and it's a history of my running away. I ran from my home. I ran from all the trouble I caused. I ran from my wife.
Sorry, that was
the
me
hands
yawning.
Of a vampire gang.
If you were wondering,
I was. But
it was not like because this is boring. It's just I just yawn. I'm not sleepy either. I'm a little sleepy, but not from. Sorry.
When my gang tracked me down, I ran off to Europe. Whenever the going gets tough, Sam Walls gets going.
Samuel, this is quite the oversimplification. I remember a man who came into my office and told me about how he should have made better decisions as a traumatized child.
A little too close to home for me.
In each of these cases you speak of, you made difficult choices following terrible events. Have some compassion for yourself, my friend.
Yeah, well, I haven't even given you the full story yet. There's another thing I've been running from. I got Ken, Andy. Distant
Oh,
kin,
shit.
but kin all the same.
Oh shit.
See,
that is something
my
you're
wife
running
was
away
pregnant
from.
when she up and left me. Didn't even tell me. My line ain't never been strong, thank goodness. But I've got a great granddaughter. Give or take one of them greats. I looked her up, and she ain't living well, Andy. I want to be there for her the way I wasn't for my wife and child. But all I am's the undead man who got her great uncle killed. If I were her, I wouldn't give me the time of night.
No, that's not true. I think you know it too, but you are too engrossed in your situation to see yourself as a father.
Which I guess is mind reading, but it seems like common sense to me too. Yeah, I've tried to make amends, but as far as kin is concerned, well, I ain't done shit.
Not yet, and not with that attitude.
Hell, I can always be confident that I'll do the wrong thing when it comes to my family. I guess that's like being always right about being always wrong.
I see you are becoming quite perceptive of your own distortions, Samuel. But let me do some reflecting for you, and you can tell me how you perceive what I am saying. You consider yourself a yellowbelly, a somewhat archaic term for coward.
I guess I'm still doing a little labeling there, huh?
A little. I believe you understand that calling ourselves names does nothing to improve ourselves.
All right. Maybe calling myself a coward ain't too good for me.
Now then, you said you believe that your distant relative will not want to speak to you because you caused the death of another distant relative.
Sounds like I'm doing a little mind reading there. I can't really know what my my distant relation is gonna think of me.
I mean, but you already called that out earlier. You already gave it to me for free. Game, I understand, but
Naturally.
yes.
We vampires have a reputation as monsters, but that is not a universal reputation. In fact, I believe we are rising in public opinion.
Yeah, but if they don't see us as monsters, they see us as sex objects.
The fetishization of vampires is quite apparent. It's true.
And now you are overgeneralizing. We are as capable of knowing the mind of society as we are of knowing the mind of an individual.
Yeah, you're right. I ain't giving my relative the chance to have her own thoughts. I should know better by now. Yeah, I know that. There's another should statement.
Samuel, remember what I have told you. Cognitive distortions are a normal side effect of being human. Cognitive distortion classifications are tools, not weapons to beat yourself with. Give yourself the same compassion you give to your clients. Now then, let us continue to reflect on your concerns.
Now that he brings it up, like these distortions are a tool, not weapons to beat yourself with. I think it's interesting, and I think it's a very good, surprisingly, like, profound point. And one of the things the game really has to walk a tightrope balance for is to make it so that you are not essentially weaponizing these cognitive distortions, identifying people, like their behavior and all that, which is difficult because when you gamify it, you make it a video game like objective to just click on all of them as fast as possible, or like to recognize them as accurately as possible. It is a similar structure to the way one would weaponize, which is not to say that the game is encouraging you to weaponize it. It's to say that, in my opinion, the game is, unfortunately, due to the nature of it being a video game, ultimately a visual novel, whatever you want to call it, it cannot prevent you from weaponizing it, despite how many times it just says overtly, don't weaponize CBT, like pattern recognition, when you're like talking to people, or when you're thinking to yourself. You just kind of like, it's something that you have to have a lot of faith in the audience to be able to pick up and really resonate with and remember and constantly remind themselves for, because it's like, it's not a one and done thing. It's like a constant. You have to remind yourself, oh no, that's like, I'm thinking perhaps in a way that's not very clear, or in a way that might be fallacious. What's the word? It might be a fallacy, like, but that doesn't mean much beyond, okay, I caught myself in doing that, now I can amend my pattern of thought. I don't know where I'm going with that, more than the game is very ambitious, and it is limited by the nature of it being a visual novel video game, which I recognize. And so while I might critique it further down the line, I recognize the difficulties he's working with.
You also believe that the positive changes you have made in your life are irrelevant where family is concerned.
I'm disqualifying the positive by pretending the change I've made don't mean anything.
It is your favorite cognitive distortion, Samuel. Your humility is most endearing, but it does often enter the realm of cognitive distortion. There is a comfortable place between extreme humility and extreme arrogance, my friend, and that is in truth.
Yeah, I know. When you're right, and you're always right.
You believe I am always right?
I guess there ain't no way of knowing if you're always right. You just kind of give off an always right vibe.
I like to have good vibes, my friend, but vibes alone do not make the man. Most of my existence, I thought I was always right, but that was when I was the most wrong. Don't believe the vibes, dear Samuel.
I'll try, but you don't make it easy. I can see where I'm making the same assumptions about McKinn, though. I gotta give her a chance before I assume she's gonna hate me. I just know that if I end up going back to the States, things are gonna get complicated. Most of us vampires out west are on the younger side. We're still in that angry, insecure stage, and I know there's a whole gang of them hollering for my blood.
Are you afraid of them, Samuel?
You know what? I ain't. I just know at some point I'm gonna have to deal with them. And my gang is real powerful now, especially their leader. Did I ever tell you about my vampire daddy?
I assumed you would tell me when you were ready.
Called himself Ernie Awigdunkel. A real piece of work.
If you never talked about him, I guess
Fella
not.
had more blood on his hands than any vampire I ever met.
I know this name.
You know Ernie?
He is a part of my darker history, and a part of humanity's darker history. He is your dark father?
Well, yeah. Is that bad?
He does not determine who you are, Samuel, but the man is still dangerous. His real name is Heinrich Kramer, and he is no mere murderer. He has a deep hatred for all humanity, especially women. I am discouraged to hear he still lives.
Well, what this Kramer fella do?
He wrote a book in 1487 called the Malleus Maleficarum, also known as the Hammer of Witches. It was with this justification that the church was enabled to persecute, torture, and kill women.
Interesting. I did not know that this was the person behind that.
The Pope during Isabella d'Este's time, Alexander VI, named him Inquisitor of Bohemia and Moravia. He did
I'm
with
not
his
very
power.
familiar with this
It's better
too.
left
I suppose
unspoken.
it's good that game's refreshing me on that.
Well, shit. What was this guy's problem with women?
They refused to enter sexual congress with him. They did not like him. He practiced poor hygiene, acted entitled, and was extremely insecure. He defended his own repellent nature with great ardor, blaming women for their predictable dislike of him. He committed himself to a life of celibacy as a Dominican friar, cementing both his virginity and his hatred.
Wait a minute, he sounds like one of them incel types from the internet I've read about.
I am afraid I am unfamiliar with the term, but he did make his lack of sexual appeal his identity.
Dang, well, now some things are starting to make sense.
Lamau, he gets no bitches. Yeah, they're trying really hard not to say it like that, but that's yeah.
How do you know this Kramer guy, Andy?
It sounds like one of those incel guys the internets keep talking about. Didn't that word like the word incel was like it was from like an article, right? Like a scholarly articles where it originated, and it was intended by the person who coined the term, who was a woman, I think, to be used for women. But now generally the term is associated with men with no sexual appeal, even though the concept of involuntary celibacy is not like just a guy thing. I don't know.
Samuel, know that I too have given myself to hatred. Mortals with a great capacity for evil drew my attention. I amused myself by indulging
From
them.
internet forums? I'll have to look it up. I don't
do
remember.
not
I just
also
remember
lust
that it
over
was
my
originally
actions, but
not
it is
meant. It was not
difficult to
intended
speak
to
of
just be like for men
The Andromachos
specifically.
of that time
Like the term
was a
incel
most pitiable vampire.
It was just people in general, but later it kind of devolved into that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. I didn't mean to dig at old wounds.
Do not be sorry, my dear Samuel. We must not erase our pasts. Pain can be a somber teacher. I must ask, what became of Heinrich?
Well, he runs Sanguinius Health. The health insurance company I told you about the last time.
Sorry.
It's vampires from the boardroom all the way down, stealing blood, money, and hope from American mortals.
How timely. How timely. What's that? This piece of shit bastard, misogynist. What? He what? What does he do now? This vampire? He runs a health insurance company? And like specifically an American health insurance company. He's oh wow, that's interesting. I'm sure that's not at all relevant and timely to anything that's going on in the world right now.
Running health insurance gives them all the money they need for even more dirty deeds.
He said it, not me. He said it.
Heinrich, what depths will you not sink to?
Well, thankfully Heinrich has recently been gifted a copy of the popular Nintendo game Luigi's Mansion 3, and I think he's been enjoying the game so far.
He disappeared from Europe 200 years ago.
I don't know though.
I had hoped he was gone forever.
Do you think he can change, Andy?
Oh, Samuel. Yes, of course he can change. Like you and me, however, he must desire this change within himself.
Yeah, this was the point I wanted to make in the Scrooge stream that is quite succinctly summed up and much more better articulated than I could. Yes, he can change. However, he must desire the change within himself.
But hatred is not something Heinrich Kramer holds. It is his very identity. He will be reluctant to give it up. Are you suggesting that you aim to help him?
Do you think I shouldn't?
Is that one of the characters?
This isn't my choice, my friend.
No.
You will do what you are.
That's not one of the characters that shows up.
I guess I don't know what I want to do. But I know Ernie.
That's not.
Or Heinrich. And I'm starting to get a handle on this therapy thing. If I can help him, shouldn't I be helping him?
Let me reflect for you. You are aware that you have knowledge of Heinrich others do not have, and that you have newfound abilities as a therapist. Therefore, you believe you should help him.
I guess that's a should statement, huh? Just because I know him and know something about therapy doesn't mean it's my destiny to try to help Heinrich Kramer.
I can't help but think that whenever should statements are mentioned, it's like you don't have to feel obligated to. My clarification was always like you don't have to feel obligated to, but probably nice if given the opportunity.
Of course, Samuel. Your own life is your own.
And I think the way should statements are handled in the game is like has the capacity for more nuance than the game has space for.
Yeah, you're right. There ain't no should.
It's more vampiric, being a vampire or being a healthcare insurance CEO. Well, one thing's for certain. Part of your vampiric nature is your immortality. So, I don't know. You know, I would imagine a vampire wouldn't die to a gunshot wound, right? I imagine a vampire could probably survive a few gunshot wounds. I don't know though. I don't know. Times equivalent of being a railroad baron. Indeed. You see the left-wing influence mentioned in the criticism from earlier, but it just makes the game funnier. I don't know if it makes the game funnier, which is like a weird thing to say. I see the left, of course I see like the left-wing influence because this whole thing is like written by Cyrus, who voices half the characters. It's very much his game. You can really much, I think you can very much feel him. Like you can see his person bleed through the writing, which makes sense because he's writing it. And inevitably, because there are a lot of larger issues that are involved and topics that are discussed that are very personal and very like introspective and very like, you know, deep, like for a better word. Of course you see this man's politics in the game he writes. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. And there's like a critique of it being too surface level. I think the critique was that it was just like, it just sounded like a college campus. To me, I don't think that's the fault, or rather I recognize that one of the reasons why that's the case is because the game, it is a video game, and I think Cyrus, the game's creator, has wants to aim for a broader appeal. That is not that like difficult to get into. I personally think he shouldn't make it that broad. I think he should go I think he can dig deeper, and I think he should dig deeper, and I think he shouldn't worry too much about alienating people. because I think that actually gets in the way of him writing what he like, everything he wants to, like, he could be writing about, but I don't know. Either way, pretty good. Maybe Kramer needs a silver bullet. Maybe. Engrave some words on it.
I'm glad
if
to hear you
like
recognize this, Samuel. Heinrich Kramer is not your should.
Well, thanks for talking this through with me, Andy. I think it's been real helpful for sorting out my thoughts.
Of course, my dear. You did all the work. I am merely here to help you reflect.
Aha, but as vampires, we cannot actually reflect, whatever that word means.
You have become quite adept at
thank goodness you
recognizing
didn't
your
say
own
that.
cognitive distortions. All there is to decide now is the path you choose from here. What drives you forward, my friend?
I've learned a hell of a lot here, Andy. More than I could have ever imagined.
Next time, less appeal. Earthbound inspired indie.
This European world.
Okay, well, that's a little too specific.
Ancient demons, power-hungry popes, kings, and duchesses. This stuff ain't exactly in my comfort zone. Besides, vampires back home have got their own issues, and now I've got the tools to help them.
I had a suspicion you were working up to this decision.
Oh.
I hoped it would not be so.
I really like it here, Andy, and you've been incredible. But if my heart still beat, it'd be beating for home. I don't want to let my clients down, but I think they're homebodies anyway. Maybe I can get them to do sessions over video calls or something.
I think you may be the only person who could get Isabella Deste to do a computer video call.
And we can continue my sessions from the internet?
Of course, Samuel. Natural.
Well, I guess that's that then. I ain't gonna run out too quickly, though. I gotta arrange for a new cruise back home, and I want to tell my clients in person. That'll take some time.
Okay.
That would be most considerate. Your clients have grown quite fond of you. Well, Samuel, I must say I am proud of you. It has been inspiring to see your command of cognitive distortions. I have no doubt that you will make your home a better place.
Coming from you, that's real flattering. Like I said when I first came here, I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
You will always seek those answers, my friend, and that is what will ensure you continue to grow. But enough embarrassing Samuel. I believe you should go down and get yourself a drink.
That sounds great, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
We're gearing up for the final sessions. Oh. Alright.
Well, that's it then. I'm going home. Once I let my clients know, I'll head back to the USA. Time to give Crimson the news. Crimson, my favorite barkeep. How's the saloon tonight?
You sound a little distracted, cowboy. Got something to tell me?
Am I that obvious?
You are. You're pretty adorable, Sam Walls.
I like to say approachably rugged.
Sure, let's go with that. What's the news, cowboy?
Well, I've been here for a few months now. I came here to get trained up by Andy, and now that I have been, I think it's time for me to go home.
No shit. Well, good for you, Sam. I think you're right. I don't think this place is for you.
I mean, I ain't gonna learn German, that's for sure. Moving on just seemed like the right choice. I got some unfinished business back home anyway. You don't seem that bothered by me leaving, though. I figured I might earn at least a frown.
Well, it just so happens that I've got some news for you.
Oh.
Can you guess what it is?
Uh-oh. You're gonna be a lawyer again? Oh, well. You're getting married.
You and Andy are getting married, ain't you? Congratulations, Crimson.
A vampire wedding? You serious? Who would even show up on his side? Charlemagne?
Well, I don't know. I was just guessing.
It's not that. Take a look at me. Notice anything different?
I do. The model is like paler. I was gonna point it out, but I wasn't sure if that was like if that was just the lighting. But yeah, her PNG is like paler than a lot paler than usual.
Well, no.
How about now?
Crimson, you're a vampire.
Newly undead and ready to bite some necks.
Well, what led to that decision?
I thought about what you said, about how vampires have got time to start over and time to do things their way. I'm going back to America too. Gonna join a different kind of bar again.
Oh.
The law moves slowly, but I've got time.
Yeah, so, oh no, okay, so that's the more surprising thing. Like, you being a vampire, whatever. You being a lawyer? Oh shit, okay. Good luck.
Dang, Crimson. A vampire lawyer. Look how world.
Not the first, not the last.
Kind of sounds like a neat video game. Vampire lawyer.
Wouldn't it be a funny video game idea, huh?
No, it doesn't. But I think I can make a difference.
How'd Andy take the news?
He knew it was coming, like he always does. Can't surprise that man. I love him to death, literally. And I'll come back someday. I just need to go my own way for a while.
Dang. Well, this is some big news. When do you think you're leaving?
Figure I'll go with you. I'll need someone to show me the ways of the night anyway.
Oh, okay.
Shucks, well that sounds mighty fine, Crimson. Might need your help going up against the big corporation my old gang is running.
You got a deal, cowboy.
Oh. No. What? I'm just saying this game was released well before recent events. This game was released... When was this game released? Like this summer? This game came out July 18th. That's when this game came out. Okay. I don't know when maybe like this part of the story came out, but it could not have been very like recently. You're telling me the American cowboy with a gun is going back to confront the healthcare CEO? Okay. Alrighty then.
Don't look now, but dinner's just arrived.
Maxi, look! Crimson! She is now ein Vampir.
Cyrus is actually a Paul from the Odyssey. Yeah, like, what the fuck?
You are one of the night children now? Looks that way. And we're in the mood for a little celebrating. Sam and I are headed to America.
All right, okay, all right, yep. Head into the polycule room, head into the little... Yep, there it is. Let's keep going. All right, let's keep a move on.
They do have better network infrastructure.
Oh, I suppose that is true. Oh, but we will miss getting our next...
Yeah, so
meeting
Reinhardt is
by-
also Matt Mercer. Which is weird. He is also the other... He's the boyfriend of the Goths. And what's funny is when I first heard Reinhardt's voice, I thought of... I don't know if you guys know this person. What's their, like... Hold on. Yeah, Kaiser Neko is... like Scott Kaiser Neko from Team 4 Star. His name is Scott, right? Yeah, Scott. Scott from Team 4 Star, Kaiser Neko. Like, I thought that was Scott. I thought that was Kaiser Neko doing the voice of Reinhardt. I don't know why. He doesn't have that accent, but I just, like, for some reason, thought this is totally within his vocal range that he could do it. And then you tell me it's Matt Mercer. I'm like, well, damn. Anyone could be Matt Mercer. He's just a shapeshifter. How do you tell?
Join us in the King Room, we will have a foursome.
I wasn't gonna, like... I thought it would be implied, but I guess, yeah, here we are.
Come on, cowboy. We won't be in Germany forever.
All right.
Alone at last. My veins throb.
Who gets to bite me?
Matt does do whatever he feels like doing. Incredible. One day he'll wake up and he'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna be the first person in history to voice Ganondorf. Do that.
I'll let you
And then he's
get
just gonna
first
do
pick,
that.
Sam.
God. What's the pick? What's the pick? Putting up a poll. Let's do it. It seems to be like near the end, if not the end of the game, so. I'm starting a poll. Starting a poll. I'll close it after like 3 votes. If there's even 3 people watching right now. I don't think there is. Oh. Project Seats feels like Ganon, but Deep Map feels like younger. Oh shit, did I mess it up? Is Ganon voiced by Seats instead? I forget. I thought it was voiced by Matt Mercer. Oh no, it is Matt Mercer. It is. Yeah, but I agree that Seats feels more like Ganon. I agree. Patrick Seats does like so many other like deeper character voices. Like the only one that comes to mind is like Jiren, I think. Patrick Sita's Jiren, right? Let me check. From like Dragon Ball. Sorry. I'm sorry. He's Dio, yeah, like among other characters. This is like recent. What's like a recent thing he did that I know of? Not that many. I mean, he's in fucking everything. He's in Devil May Cry? Oh, he's like one of the like King Cerberus. Okay. Oh, he's Yuritsa. He's Yuritsa and Lambert. He's Yuritsa. Yeah, from Three Houses. And one show could do Ganon as well. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not good at. I can't pretend like I would be a good person to do voice casting, but I can see someone doing a good Ganondorf voice. He does a lot of that range, that vocal range in his like skits on YouTube, so it wouldn't be surprising. We are split 50-50 between Maxi and Reinhard. Okay. You know what that means? I guess that means I'm flipping a coin. You'll know on flip a coin, you'll know on the way down. I really don't think I will for this case. We'll do heads for Maxi. Tails. Reinhard it is.
All right, Reinhard, you got nice veins, so bring 'em
You
on
got
over.
nice veins, so bring them on over.
Oh, I knew you liked me best, cowboy. Cowboy! Just because I'm going to miss you doesn't mean you have to kill me.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
shucks, it ain't
fucking
like
up.
that. Let me try again.
Let me try again. This minigame is hard. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm stuck. Uh-oh, shit. Okay, my game fucking crashed. Hold up, my game's crashing. My game is crashing. No! Fuck. Okay. Fucking shit. This is algorithm revenge. What have I done to deserve the to be looked upon and frowned by the algorithm? Is it not enough that I'm a small streamer with very little hope of growing because I do not have very mass appeal? Is it not enough? Is it not enough? Fuck. Oh god. Can't be serious. There's a checkpoint. Okay. Do you see this? You do see this? There's no way. I'm about done. Why did you? No.
Well, if it isn't the gunslinging guru of mental health himself. Good evening, sir.
Fuck. Shit. Weird. Welcome, Nicole. Late as usual. I'm late. You're not late. No one. You can't be late. You can't be late to to a public lecture. Not possible. I'm late to my own stream. I was late to my own stream, and now I have to redo it because my game just crashed. I have to redo probably about 30 minutes of reading, but it's fine.
Of course, very good.
Usability.
It's okay.
Place of comfort. How do you
It's
feel,
okay.
Samuel? Why are you?
I think we lost 30 minutes of like reading intently, but I've already read it all. I don't have to read it again.
Your distant relative will not want to speak to you because you caused the death.
Sounds like I'm doing a little.
In fact,
I think clicking back will take just a few minutes.
You also believe that the positive changes you have made in your life are irrelevant where family is. You believe I am always right.
Yep, that's a fallacy. That's a distortion right there.
You know,
His real name is Heinrich Kramer.
I'm done talking about him.
But hey,
why are we still talking about him? I thought I said I was done talking about him.
That you have knowledge of Heinrich others do not have.
I guess that. Yeah. Well, thank you.
You have all there is to decide now is the path you choose from here. What drives you forward, my friend?
I need to.
I gotta face
him.
That fella's done some awful things to me and folks I cared about, and I need to find out why.
I got my gun ready. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to
if I can turn him from the path of darkness, well, that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh,
I have a suspicion you were working up to this decision, though.
I really like it here, Andy. And you've been incredible. But if my heart still beat, it'd be beating for home.
And that's why I'm gonna go to the U.S. now. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go visit my step granddaughter, my great granddaughter, and I'm gonna confront the healthcare CEO. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, that's it then. I'm going home. Once I let my clients, time to give
Also, Crimson's a vampire now. That's what you missed, I suppose.
It just,
you got a new.
But take a. How about
Crims?
Crims.
No. Don't look.
You have a. Say, if you join.
Come on, cowboy. I'll let you get first pick, Sam.
Let's do Maxi this time. We did Reinhardt and it crashed. I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna save here just in case it fucking kills me again. Okay.
Maxie, get on over here and give me that neck of yours.
Just popped in to announce temporary leave until the 1K ASMR stream. Alright, goodbye. Have fun. Good luck.
Oh, du machst mich sehr glücklich.
I don't know what that means.
Shoot, where'd your neck go, Maxie?
Follow the throbbing vein, mein Lieber.
I don't know what that means.
Bitte sehr higher.
You'd think I know what I was doing after 200 some years.
I really don't.
You don't know how to buy it, don't you?
I just... Why does it work? By the blue veins. This overlaps a red vein throughout the entire course of its... I can skip it. I just realized I could skip stuff. Maybe they added that recently.
I am feeling woozy in the most wunderbar Weg.
Glad I could be of service.
The new vampire is not so bad herself.
I know my way around a neck.
I guess I should turn in now. Gotta prepare to give my clients the big news.
You are not getting away so easily, cowboy.
Okay,
Tonight is only getting started.
Live a little, Tex. We'll be back in the land of Puritan pride before you know it.
Ah, what the hell? You only die once.
Good evening, Samuel. I believe you are seeing Dr. Drain tonight.
Okay.
Or is it Lord Lourdes?
We made it past that. We're preparing to tell all of our clients what's going on. We're preparing to let them know. Sorry if this. We're prepared to let them know. That we're preparing to leave for the US. We will not be a therapist any longer. We are going to... How do I leave? How do I get out of here? That'll be for next time, which will be the last time, I hope. I hope as in, like, that way I can title it, like, the last stream or something. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Next stream, we're going to see our clients all for the last time. We're going to leave, and we're going to probably, if there's an epilogue, it'll lead to that. So personally, I am pretty content with the game so far. I've enjoyed it as well. I'll make some brief comments now, and then I'll make some more comments in the next and probably last stream I do of the game. It's overall well-intentioned and very good. There are several flaws. There are things to pick it apart for. If all I wanted was to pick it apart, there are easy ways to pick it apart, but I'm not the type to just pick things apart for the sake of it. For what the game is, it's really good. I went into it not expecting to. I went in expecting it to not be quite something to my taste, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to stream this game, but I didn't really want to play it myself. If I was just offline. I don't think it's my type of game personally. But it was a visual novel-esque thing, and I knew there was some demand for that. And I thought the subject matter here was quite good. And I underestimated how much of the vampire is in Vampire Therapist. Personally, I don't really care about vampires. I'm not really... Like, I think the goth aesthetic is... I can appreciate the goth aesthetic, but I don't think I can appreciate it enough to love it. But it's there, and it's like... I don't want to be all like, I don't understand what all the hype is about, but... Because I think I do now that I've played the game. I think I understand what the hype is for goth vampire aesthetics. But personally, I'm somewhat indifferent to it. Game's very sex positive and talks about it all the time and alludes to it being the thing all the time, but it still manages to be somewhat PG. Okay, maybe not PG. Like, it's not really PG. I don't think any part of this game was PG, but it manages to not be very explicit enough to get me banned for streaming it, which I am grateful for. And I think the creator Cyrus Namati was his name. Cyrus Namati had in mind when he was writing and making this game. I think he had in mind people would stream this and play this on YouTube's and on Twitch.tv. I like it. I like the game. More on that next time. More therapy next time. And then that's the end. And then there's never going to be any therapy again on this channel. We're off the rails forever. That's what's going on. But yeah, I think I'll have more conclusive thoughts of it. I don't want to make them now. I'll have more conclusive thoughts of it next time I stream this game. But overall, I have enjoyed the game a lot. I enjoyed the game more than I expected to. But a little less than what I wanted. Which is to say, I have some reservations, namely with the fact that as I got into it more and more, I just realized I didn't really like any of the game elements of this game. I really would have rather just consumed this as a visual novel. I think, it's in that sense, it's similar to how I feel about Class of 09, where it's not really, I don't care about my choices that much more than I do just like, I'm here to see what happens, I guess. But the problem for Vampire Therapist is I think when you get a distortion wrong, because you're just not good at spotting distortions, because you're role-playing as a therapist, not really a therapist. When you get something wrong, it doesn't punish you. The game doesn't punish you explicitly or overtly. You don't like lose points. You don't lose progress per se, but it makes an already appropriately, I might add, an appropriately slow experience even slower. And the gamer in me wants it to move faster than it's moving. The gamer in me is like, okay, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Whereas I think for what it is, it's moving at the right pace. It is a little slow for me, but I think it should be slow. I don't think it should be fast. I don't think it should be like, wow, boom, after 2 sessions we solved like this therapist client and time to get a new one. Like that would be very bad for the game. So the pace it's moving in is a good pace. I'm personally just a little impatient, especially when I'm streaming a game. And I can tell most people are as well, because people don't give a shit about my Vampire Therapist playthroughs. Frankly, not that many people tune into the Vampire Therapist streams. Not that many people watch it as a VOD, like in its view count. Not that many people care about it, but enough people do that I'm going to continue. That I obviously am going to finish. When is the time for House and Fatima or Higurashi Mineko? You've mentioned these games. I think I have them bookmarked. If I was interested in them. Let me look at them again. Yes, I did have these games bookmarked. I don't know if you've mentioned them. Fucking somebody's mentioned them many times. I can't remember who did. I can't remember all of you. And there's not that many of you, but I can't remember who mentions what, because I just don't attach names to ideas. They're very separate from, but whatever. Is Higurashi really long? About Umineko. It's a mystery murder. The 8 main games are split into 2 sets of 4. What the hell does that? It's a murder mystery. Part 1 and 2 is 140 hours. Okay, please recommend me something that I can do in like that's about the same length as Vampire Therapist or shorter. Please. Good 40 hours. 72 hours? That's 2 full work weeks from Ken's dad. They're so long. They are so long. I want to play longer games, but I can't play only longer games. I have to play some shorter games as well. To satiate the people who might not want to see the longer series I'm doing. So right now the longer series is Vampire Therapist. It used to also be Fire Emblem 3 Houses, but that's benched. I've told you why. Shelves for temporarily. But it's going to be The Walking Dead soon. I can't have another series that's like really, really long, because then I'll just have the same 2 games every week. Play It's Winter, it's Summer, and Niasno? What is that? Let's see. Snow, overcast sky, tiny kitchen, shabby staircase. This Winter is an indie game with a genre could be classified as sandbox, post-Soviet, sad 3D, Russian sadness. Russian sadness. There's just nothing here. It's just fucking sad. Is it a horror game? I hope it's not a horror game. I'm not playing if it's peak, I swear. Game is not selling me up. Nothing awaits you. There is no chance to get out. No room for adventures and breathtaking plot. Just a broken radio, refrigerator filled with food, loneliness, and Okay. I will say, and I will say though, it does look conceptually quite. I actually think it's quite. The post-Soviet neighborhood in the winter. Experience includes architecture, limited scenery, and a handful of environmental interactions. It's about wandering and exploring. Depressingly accurate because of the low fidelity graphics. Unfortunately, there's very little content. Appreciate the game for what it is, but I feel. Okay. That's one of the reviews. Thoughtful walking sims about remote Russian town. The small scene and a couple of interactions. It's framed as art. It's framed more as an art piece than it is a video game. That's fair enough. Web fishing? I've had that. I have that bookmarked. I have that bookmarked. If I grow interested, I have the book. I think its winter is interesting. I'm gonna give you that in mind. I'm gonna, yeah. What is Neaz now? Wastelands. Gray Sky, a lost world for a lost sinner. Let techno trance music versus the wasteland. I don't want to walk through so many wastelands, man. I'm too depressed for this. I'm too depressed for this kind of thing. It does seem interesting though. Web fishing with chat when? You can web fish with other people? Really? Oh, I guess you can, yeah. It's a multiplayer chat room focused fishing game. That's why you wanted me to get it, it's because it's like a chat room. Okay. I see. Alright, no, alright, thank you for the recommendations. As long as I want to have that gate. That. What? Did you, is that a typo or is that how it spells? I can't find. No, you didn't misspell them. Okay. I'm not gonna make any more comments. I'm gonna end the stream now. Have a good day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed therapy today. I hope you will continue to enjoy therapy whenever it takes place in your lives. If you feel as though this game has spoken and reached too deeply into your soul, maybe that's true. In that case, maybe consider actually doing therapy, getting into therapy. And it's about finding the right therapist. Oh, of course, only if you can afford to. It's definitely not as affordable as it. Have a nice 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm not gone for 2 weeks. I'm not gone for 2 weeks yet. I'll be gone like in 2 weeks, not like for 2 weeks. So you'll see me Saturday. I'm gonna stream. Next stream is gonna be House Slipper on Saturday, probably, and then is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it will be a House Flipper stream on Saturday. Actually, now that I'm looking at my calendar, I'll figure it out. I'll deal with it. There will be a stream on Saturday. Probably no stream tomorrow, but a stream the day after. Have fun. Go away, and if you have any questions, wait for the next stream or send me an email. Okay, goodbye. Oh, will I do a reading stream soon? Sorry, hold on, let me go back here. Am I gonna do a reading stream soon? Yes, of course. When and what? Not sure, have not decided, but I will do a reading stream soon. I will figure it out and I will do it. We'll do it. It might be Sunday, actually. It might be Sunday. I think that time would work. What would be a good end of year reading? I don't know. Send me an email. I think Chairman is fishing for emails. No, I'm not. Okay, don't send me an email. Fuck. I forget. Yeah, if you send me an email, I see your email address. I forget that. Maybe just salt an email, make a new one. Make it like Paris Euphonor Viewer 1, and then just sort yourselves by your numbers. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Show up in chat, I guess. Do what you want. It doesn't really concern me much. You ever do a Substack or blog about your thoughts about things? No, because I can't write. I'm fucking horrible at writing. I wish I could be a better writer, but I'm not. The fact is I am not, and I don't think I will unless I put a lot of time into it. I do know a lot of people who do have Substacks and blogs who do it so much better than me that, like, it's not that it makes me give up, but it's more like, yeah, these people can do it. I don't have to do it. There's enough people with good thoughts out there that are written quite eloquently. I'm gonna leave them to that. I don't think I need to add another one to that pile. Would recommend a Story of a Pet. Story of a Pet Dog by Osamu Dazai. Story of a Pet Dog. I think I've heard of this. Let me just see if it's the thing I heard of. Okay, done. Bookmarks for next stream. Sorry. When I work, I'm either speaking of my thought process or I'm not speaking at all. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. It looks interesting. I will heavily consider that for next reading stream. Maybe I'll group together some certain things as well for reading, not just like a super short reading. It could be like short readings. We'll see. Anyways, that's it. Goodbye. I'm leaving you. Until Saturday. You'll see me soon. Therapy's hard. Therapy's so hard. This is exhausting, man. I have to, like, being perceived by YouTube is enough. I have to also be perceived by the game I'm playing. Goodness. A little too much reception. Made an email? I was joking. Don't actually, like, okay. I'm not saying don't do it, but I was joking about sending me an email. It's part of the bit. It's part of a bit that's like, you know, I'm gonna respond unusually formally because that's part of the joke, the grander joke of like, I'm a bit more serious than most other VTubers. But you know, you can just informally contact me. Like, I don't mind at all. Very open to be okay. Send newspaper cuttings to form sentences. Make untraceable. Yeah, maybe do that. Maybe do that. Yep. Okay, goodbye. Just don't threaten my family or like dox me or something with that.